He's one of the dopest engineers in the game. The head engineer exclusively for Prodigy of Mobb Deep. 10 Prodigy of Mobb Deep albums. The Hegelian Dialectic. The Book of Revelation.
It's a pleasure, man. That body of work is crazy. I mean,
Joe the engineer. Now we do this shit, nigga.
3:33. That's a sign from the heavens. Just look up in the heavens.
Vegas, what up, homie? What up, everybody? It is Gray Matter Divisional Round Wrap Up. I am Joe the Engineer. Rarely do I ever say that. Kerry will be joining us shortly, that is for sure. What a fucking week, man. What a motherfucking week of NFL football, playoff football. Just absolutely... You run out of superlatives to talk about the fact that all 4 games were won in walk-off fashion, which has never been done before. Let alone the fact that the Chiefs and Bills scored 4 touchdowns in the last minute and 45 seconds of the game, which is, like, absolutely insane. How that even happened, it was like watching God play Madden. It wasn't even like actual humans playing a sport. Absolutely insane. Shout out to our sponsor, Cushwick Farms. I've been waiting to break out the green and white Cushwick hoodie. I've had a headache for 3 days. I don't think any of that matters. Anyway, Kerry will be here soon, possibly Roger Harper. And, there's a 1 in a million chance that Nice pops in. I would not hold your breath for that, people. That is the rarest of sightings to have. To say that you had a Nice sighting is, like, ultra rare. You already know, Hobie. Whenever you're ready, I've been getting busy lately. I literally just made this one like an hour ago. Well, not an hour ago, about 2 hours ago. And then made a medicated pizza thanks to our other sponsor, My Mom's Medibles. Shout out to Moms. And I'm imagining in about 15 to 20 minutes, I am going to be ultra high. But what else is new? Absolutely nothing. So, it's literally, we're only 4 games. So, it's not like I can talk about these games without my co-host. So, I was listening to beats. I imagine if I hit play that Kerry will pop up. So, until he pops in, let's listen to something. Yeah, Vegas. 31 teams disappoint their fans every single year, so it has been a while. It's been since Steve Young won a Super Bowl for San Francisco, which was the 90s. And Kaepernick got them there once. They lost in the Harbaugh Bowl to the Ravens. Shout out to Jacoby Jones with the kick return touchdown and basically flipped that game on its head. I just think that Jimmy G is going to Jimmy G at one point. At some point, he's going to have to make a play, and he hasn't really done that yet. They've won 3 playoff games where he has not thrown a touchdown pass. There's another absurd stat about him not throwing what their record is when he doesn't score or something. It's nuts. So they don't win because of Jimmy G. And they don't win in spite of him. But he is the best option that they have because when he's not starting, they have a losing record. So that team is centered around a quarterback that is what they like to call a game manager, but I think all quarterbacks are game managers because that's part of your fucking job is to manage the game. But what they call a game manager is somebody that doesn't really win the game. They just don't lose it. He doesn't really lose games. He doesn't really win them either. And that's the problem. At some point in time, you're going to have your quarterback is going to have to win a game for you. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're going to have to win a game for you. That's what happened to the Colts. Carson Wentz is going to have to win a game for you. It didn't happen. Because he can't. He doesn't win games. So that's the sole reason that the Rams went and made that huge move for Matthew Stafford is because Jared Goff doesn't win you games. Matt Stafford will. So that's why they're in the NFC title game with a inside track on getting to the Super Bowl. Now it's funny because I did say after week 1 that the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. I know I was being facetious and outlandish on purpose because I also said they were going to go undefeated, which we all know that's impossible. But I did say that team's going to the Super Bowl. That's the Super Bowl team. And that was before they added Von Miller and OBJ, so they're... I mean, dude, it would be hilarious if the Bengals make it to the Super Bowl. I think they're a 7.5 point underdog right now. So Vegas doesn't like to lose. So it's looking like the Chiefs will probably win on a field goal. Or a walk-off touchdown just like they just did and win by 6. So it's looking like it's going to be Chiefs straight up and they won't cover the spread. Because, you know, that's just the way gambling goes. Oh, dude, it'd be absolutely hysterical if the Bengals make it to the Super Bowl. It would be so much fun. Not that, like, watching Patrick Mahomes play football isn't fun, but I don't like the Chiefs because I'm a Pats fan. And the Bengals have been terrible forever. So it'd be absolutely hilarious if they made it to the Super Bowl. And Joe Burrow would become a fucking rock star. Not that he's not already a football rock star, but he'd become like pop culture icon. He'd be the new Joe Namath. It'd be hilarious. I hope it happens. I actually do. It'd be so much fun. Now, where the fuck are our esteemed co-hosts at? Larry Bird, what up, Jeezy? There's 3 games left. There's 2 on Sunday and then the Super Bowl. That's it. We're down to 3. 4 teams. 3 games. Tom Brady's not in the Super Bowl. That's pretty rare. Aaron Rodgers is not in the Super Bowl. Pretty common occurrence. Yeah, Super Bowls. See, one of my very vivid and cherished P moments is me and him watching Patriots-Falcons Super Bowl together. Because the Fox was upstairs on her phone or doing something. Who knows what the Fox was doing, but she was not watching the Super Bowl with us. So it was just me and P. And we had literally medicated everything. There wasn't anything that you could eat that didn't have weed in it. And me and P sat and watched every fucking play. Even when they were down 28-3. I just kept saying, you have to believe. You can do this. And P was just like, oh, you fucking crazy. But they did. So, very vivid P memory because that's the only entire football game that him and I ever watched. That's for sure. To where he watched the game, and it happened to be, the biggest comeback in Super Bowl history. So it made the game absolutely insane. And I'm a Pats fan, so. I actually wasn't going nuts. It was more of like, I fucking knew they could do that shit. And then immediately hitting up everybody that I talked to and had texted earlier, like, you just have to believe, like, they could do this. It was funny because I talked to my mom before the game. She said, what do you think Tom's going to do? And I told her, Falcons are younger, going to have a lot of energy. Patriots have done this before. Falcons probably going to be up 14 points at halftime. And then that Super Bowl halftime is going to get them because the Super Bowl halftime is 40 minutes long instead of 15. So it's more than double the length. So you kind of, if you haven't done it before, it kind of seems teams that go to the Super Bowl for the first time or with a roster that doesn't have Super Bowl experience always seem to come out flat in the third quarter. It's because that long ass fucking halftime that you're not used to kind of throws off your rhythm. And then Pats have been through it a billion times. So,
yo,
what up, homie?
what's the word?
I was just pontificating about how I knew I called the Pats and Falcons Super Bowl not to that extreme, not 28-3. I didn't think it was going to be that much, but I did say Falcons will be up 14, probably 14 points, maybe even 17. Halftime's going to happen. That 40-minute long halftime is going to come to bite all that youth in the ass. And the Patriots have been through it before. No, because it's the only football game me and P have ever watched together from front to back, like the whole game.
Yeah,
So
I know, I was texting for it.
Yeah,
I watched it with my Falcons buddy, and I was like, as long as you got Tom Brady, y'all have a chance.
All I kept saying on every single play is you have to believe. That's it.
When they converted the first 2-point conversion, I was like, I've seen this movie before. Then they converted the second 2-point conversion. I was like, oh, man.
Oh, we've all seen this one before.
It's like, oh, it's over.
Well, when I found out that his mom had not seen a game all year in person because she was battling cancer, and that was the first game she made it to, I was like, there is no way Captain America is losing this game. Like, come on, this is Disney over here. Like, this is how this works. So, homie, what a fucking weekend.
Wow.
It's never happened before. 4 walk-offs in the divisional.
Can't make that up.
And the games kind of increasingly got better.
Oh, yeah.
Each one got better.
Well, I told you the one I was really looking forward to was Titans and Cincinnati. With the Chiefs and the Bills, they're just so unpredictable. You didn't know where that would go. But I felt Titans-Cincinnati would be the one. I mean, how you win a game after allowing 9 sacks.
That just shows you who Joe Burrow actually is. He's Tom Brady. He's the next one. He's that next guy that's just going to win games in his clutch.
The best thing I heard him say, it was just like they were talking about them. Reporter asked him about him, the team making the playoffs, he said, yeah, get used to it. And this is what I'm talking about. When you say shit like that, get used to it. Yeah, I want my teammates to get used to it. I want y'all to get used to it. I want the city to get used to it. Like, no big deal. This is what you're going to see. Yes.
Well, I texted you as soon as they got into field goal position. McPherson is muddy, game over. Like he has been all year. And all game, he was not only making things dead center, he was driving them up through the top of the upright. No matter 50 yards, just driving it. So,
did you see that ridiculous video of him kicking the ball, like at a high point through the uprights and unscrewing a taped down Gatorade bottle?
It doesn't surprise me. He's different.
Incredible. It doesn't even make sense.
So, speaking of the Joe Burrow confidence that is oozing from the rest of this team, and this is what happens when you have a quarterback like this. McPherson takes 2 warm-up swings, looks at the coach and says, looks like we're going to the AFC Championship game, and walks out and makes the kick. Yep. They know they have him.
That's what I'm saying.
They have him. He can win it for them.
That's what I'm saying. That attitude permeates throughout the team.
So I was just talking about, before you got on, about the inability of certain quarterbacks to win games when they are called upon. Like Carson Wentz is not able to win a game for you when Jonathan Taylor gets bottled up.
Right.
Jimmy G has never won games for the Niners. He just never loses them. He's never the reason they lose. He's never really the reason they win either.
Whereas I'm not counting on Kirk Cousins to go get me one either.
Exactly. Quarterbacks like that, you just don't. They don't really lose them. They'll have a couple games where they throw some picks, but they don't really lose. It's the game manager label. Matt Ryan. They're not.
We know who he doesn't beat.
Yeah, they're not that guy. So, what do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about these games that were, or the shakeup that has already occurred in the NFL?
Let's talk about the shakeup first.
Okay.
Then we can get to see where these dominoes may fall.
All right, so Sean Payton. This big fucking.
I texted you as soon as that happened, and I was like, "Oh yeah, he'll be in Dallas in no time." And then I had to take a little nap. I woke up, I'm seeing all this shit that Dallas talk. Yeah, no shit.
Well, it makes sense. Jerry Jones has always wanted Sean Payton to come back after he was on the staff.
Always.
This is an easy reason for you to move on from Big Mike and be like, it wasn't working out, dude.
Absolutely.
And then you get this guy in the building.
Hmm. Oh, Sean Payton was watching the game. He was watching the game. He saw the game. He said, "Oh, y'all are all saying that y'all agreed for Dak to run with 16 seconds left or 14 seconds left to run 20 yards down the field and just eat up all that time? Yeah, I think it's time to leave the Saints and go to that roster with those wide receivers, that quarterback, and at least Tony Pollard and what I see out of that defense. Yeah, that team is ready-made to win. They had the wrong person coaching them.
Yeah, so there's a couple teams that are ready-made to win that are just missing a piece right now, and that's one of them. So the domino effect on this one isn't actually even with the rest of the league. This is because football heads, we know Mike McCarthy is losing his job.
Oh.
They were just waiting for the right opportunity. Well, now there is one.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Jerry Jones was waiting for this to happen, so this is an easy out for him. But
you don't think Steven and Sean had a conversation like as soon as they got bounced, and Sean Payton's like, "Hey, man, sorry for your loss." Da-da-da. Sean Payton was probably the first one texting him, "Hey, sorry about that. I watched, man."
So the domino effect is really going to hit the Saints. $68 million over the cap.
You overpaid a utility player.
Well, that's going to be an easy one to fix. That's an easy one to fix.
Yeah,
But still, so Sean Payton gone. All right, Alvin Kamara is already throwing out like, "Oh, well, I'm not here to rebuild. They're not going to be able to afford me anyway."
You think the best quarterback on their roster, Jameis Crablegs Winston's going to come back? I wouldn't.
Michael Thomas isn't coming back. See, that was a huge hit on their cap. They're paying him, and he didn't even play.
He didn't even play.
And he's a $20 million a year receiver, so that's a huge, huge deal. So they're going to have to shed contracts, and they're going to be bad because another coach, who's going to want to take that job?
I know. I mean,
Somebody will. It's going to have to be a first-year coach.
I'd be looking at, I was about to say, you're going to look like a college coach either moving up or a disgraced former head coach, or maybe just like one of these assistants who, who's like barely on the borderline of.
Yeah, you know what's going to suck, Kerry? This is going to be one of the jobs. This is going to be one of those assistants who's been looked over for like the last 7 fucking years is going to get that job, and it's not going to work out for them, and then they're never going to get another head coaching gig again. And then somebody like Pat Shurmur will.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, let Pat Shurmur get that job. Sure.
Or your fucking coach that's now the offensive coordinator somewhere. He just got a gig.
Ben McAdoo.
Yeah, McAdoo got a fucking job again. Like, come on.
In Carolina. Good luck, Carolina.
They are going to suck. The good thing about it is if Tom, this is the other red herring that's floating out there, is retirements. Tom has never talked about football in the manner that he is right now.
No.
Ever.
No.
Even after they won last year's Super Bowl at 7 a.m., the next morning he was texting Clyde Christensen about workouts and how they need to improve for next season. 7 a.m. after his 7th Super Bowl. This year it ain't like that, dude. I think he's done. So the Bucs are another team that are about $40 million over the cap because they've swung heavy for this season. Chris Godwin's already said he's not coming back. He's going to go into free agency. Gronk has hitched his boat to Tom Brady and said, Tom is my quarterback. He's done. Gronk's done.
Yep.
So you're going to look at like Levante David, who they brought back, come back for one more year. Like all those 1-year deals, all those people going to be gone. Which means Bruce Arians might be like, hey, yo, fuck this shit.
I got me one.
I got that one. So you're looking at the Saints sucking. The Panthers, trash. The Bucs going back to Suckville.
Oh, no. That means Atlanta's going to be the cream?
Matty Ice Cream might get another fucking playoff shot, dude. He's going to be better than all of those quarterbacks in that division.
It's just going to... Wow. What a moment for him that's going to be.
Then he could retire.
Back on top, bitches.
Matt Ryan's like the Butters of the NFL. So, Tom Brady being done, possibly. More, listen, I'm the Tom Brady guy. This is different. I can feel it. He's just like... What the odd thing about it, though, Kerry, is what he actually said. He said... He would like to go off with the Super Bowl, even though that doesn't realistically mean this team. And I was just like, here's my theory, and I've been saying it as soon as it happened. When the Rams beat the Niners, because Jimmy G's going to Jimmy G.
TB12's return home story.
Return home, win one for the home crowd, and then walk off into the sunset.
That's a Disney movie.
See, and it's Tom Brady, so I can see that happen. But you'll also see Aaron Rodgers, who's got a couple years left, going to San Francisco. But what people don't they failed to or at least bring it up. They might remember he's mad at San Francisco for passing him up in the fucking draft and taking Alex Smith. Do you think he wants to go back and play for them? I don't think so.
How long are you going to hold on to it, bro? That was 18, 19 years ago. Come on. Are you serious?
It looks like he might...
Look, guess what? You got chosen at 22. It's okay. San Francisco passed on you. So did 20 other teams. So you going to just hold those grudges? Come on, man.
Yeah, he will.
It's petty, and then they're super petty. Get over it, man.
Yeah, Tom Brady was allowed to hold his grudges. He was 199th. No one believed him, except except one coach on New England staff. That's the only person who believed in him.
And then he also proceeded to beat every single team in the league.
So, Aaron Rodgers leading He said today he's not doing free agency. That doesn't mean he won't play for a different team. That means he's just not going to go out and test the waters. That means the right scenario is just going to be presented to him, and he'll just do it.
And he'll just do the deal.
Like
right.
Peyton going to Denver. That was like a guarantee John Elway was bringing him in.
Yeah.
You know, so there's this distinct possibility of going back to Green Bay, but they also are about almost $30 million over the cap. And they're going to have to franchise Devontae because his deal is up. And that's going to eat up a lot of cap space. So, San Francisco for A-Rod also.
Robert Tonyan is free agent, so you would lose your tight end possibly.
And that backup tight end played like shit in this last game. Multiple drops, holding penalty. He played terrible. I had him on a fantasy roster. Did nothing. Because if you didn't have Davis, you did nothing this week.
Yeah.
201 yards and 4 touchdowns. Like there were only 4 games. Like you had to have him. It was crazy. So anyway, here's another theory that I'm throwing out there because this is fun. I texted you the list of quarterbacks that are probably going to be on different rosters or not playing at all this day. It's like a lot.
Yeah.
So, after that performance, I believe that the Titans feel that they have reached their ceiling with Ryan Tannehill.
See that?
So, Aaron Rodgers, go ahead and take that San Francisco gig.
Yes. Well, I mean,
Tom, go ahead and go with Braves. That's your guy.
Oh yeah, that is a good connection. Tennessee, Tom. I mean,
they're built around the run, so they wouldn't require him to throw 5,400 yards and 45 touchdowns again. Even though he can. Clearly he can. Look what he just did.
Have A.J. Brown. Duh.
They'd have to, and you'd get.
Got to get a tight end.
Well, Gronk would go with him.
This is true. Because Firsker ain't it.
No, he's not it. So Gronk would definitely go with him, and then you would see other players would possibly be like, hey, I'm going to go over there.
Sure. So we're talking about the AFC South, with which they've already been winning. I mean, they got the first seed despite everything. Despite Derrick Henry going down.
The only obstacles are the other team. All the power is in the AFC right now. And youth. Cincinnati. Yeah. KC's still young. They're centered around Patrick Mahomes, and you see what they can do when they're fully humming. The Chargers have Herbert, so they're a factor.
Whereas in the NFC, it's the same old players. It's the same old teams.
It's the same old teams, and Tom is not going to stay in Tampa.
No,
so that removes them out of the. Yeah, that removes 2 of them out of the equation. So it's only the Rams because Russ is going to be on the move too.
Yeah.
And then now they're talking about Derek Carr being on the move.
Oh, like going to the NFC?
Who just texted? Somebody just texted me. It was a trade. Colton might have hit me. Oh, to the Steelers.
Ooh.
I could see that one working.
I could see that. Yeah. Yeah.
I could see that one working out there.
Tight end, so him and Fryer move immediately.
Their receiving core is pretty solid. They got Naj.
Solid, yeah.
He can play. He's tough. He can play behind that line. He can take it.
He absolutely can. Him and Tomlin would get along just fine.
He would fit Pittsburgh so well.
Oh, yeah, he would.
And then, hey, Derek Carr goes to Pittsburgh. Devontae becomes a free agent. Aaron's getting ready to retire. He might go to Pittsburgh and go link up with his homie.
Depending on whatever Juju's situation looks like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see Pittsburgh immediately, like Tampa did with Tom, and then people following Tom, Pittsburgh immediately making a jump up. So the amount of quarterbacks that matter that are on the move, there's a lot that don't matter. There's a lot that who fucking Kirk Cousins, Danny Dum-Dum, who fucking cares? Nobody cares about these people. They will not make the history of the NFL in either way.
Well, Danny Dum-Dum's going to make it in a turnover way. That guy, he gives up the ball like it's his job, too.
So you look at the jobs that are open, though. Pittsburgh. Cleveland's quarterback is going to... They don't want Baker. That's clear. Tennessee will move on from Tannehill if they have a better option.
Sure.
See, that's the thing with these playoff teams. They have to have a better option come in before they're just going to move on from, like, Tannehill.
We got to look at Denver.
Denver. Great defense.
At least decent running game, and you have talent at the receiver position,
Yeah.
and also at the tight end position. Noah Fant was ascending, and even their backup tight end is good. So they have a situation that you can work. They got rid of the coach, which helpful, but it's going to be a coach quarterback situation. Whatever combo they get, if they get a really solid coach that also comes with a solid QB, they could turn that shit around quickly in them.
So you have to also look at, so you get like Tennessee and San Francisco, who are playoff teams that are like Super Bowl caliber rosters, pretty much. They could make it to the Super Bowl. So both of those jobs, very intriguing. There's some jobs that aren't so intriguing, like Pittsburgh, they need an offensive line. The Giants need an offensive line. Minnesota, who knows what's going to go on up there. Who knows who their coach, they hired a GM. They didn't hire a coach yet. Philly, playoff team. You know that they would move on from Jalen Hurts if they got a better quarterback.
They would.
So I could see Russ ended up in Philly.
I would hate that.
I know you would, but I could see that happening because it's close enough to New York for Sierra to go do her thing. Helicopter ride and she's there.
Ugh, don't do it.
Plus, that style of run game would be awesome with Russ.
Ugh, come on. Stop making it sound even better. Terrible.
And so there was a thought going around amongst NFL heads that Dak could also, if they could upgrade from Dak, that they would. Aaron Rodgers in Texas. But now that
There's only a few names that you can pop out that's going to be an upgrade from Dak at this point.
But Sean Payton, we all see the writing on the wall. Sean Payton's going to be the next head coach in Dallas.
Yeah.
Even if
work with Dak.
Even if he becomes like a special assistant and just waits until they get rid of McCarthy, that's what I'm saying. They'll work with Dak. So
yeah, he and Dak would make a dynamic duo. Yeah, he would don't you leave Dak alone. I got him. Yeah.
Well, because they won a Super Bowl with a quarterback who could never really go down the field.
Yeah.
You know, so he could do that with Dak because Dak doesn't really ever go down the field.
I mean, like he'll pop a deep, every now and again, but like you'll see those scenarios mostly when they're comebacks. But
that's what I'm saying.
If they're in the flow of game, he's intermediate and short.
He's not like Bruce Arians' offense, who is just whoever's the quarterback is chucking it down the field. We all knew Tom Brady was going to lead the league in passing. He's playing in Arians' offense. Get out of here! Like they're going to get 5,000 yards easy. So let's see. The Bears got their GM also. Oh, Aaron Rodgers did say he will make a decision whether or not on what he is going to do by the franchise tag deadline.
Which is when?
March, I think. So he's got a little bit to. I mean, you know, at the end of a season, especially when you're expected to like make a Super Bowl run and you get bounced in the divisional again, you know, you don't want to make a decision the next day. That's stupid.
Yeah, emotions.
He's going to probably, you know, go to Hawaii and smoke some weed and jump off waterfalls and sing Taylor Swift songs and shit.
Go spelunking.
He did say during this year that he's, for the first time, could see, like, the next phase of his life. Like, being a dad and doing other shit. So, he might, you know... Listen, Tom and Aaron, we're talking Mount Rushmore level quarterbacks, both leaving at the same time. And none of them having, like, a farewell tour. Fucking crazy. Tom said he will not do a farewell tour. It's not happening.
Well, then this will be it.
Yeah, 100%. So that's another reason.
If he's gotten this close, and it's even in people's minds, they're going to treat every game next year like it's his last.
I know, and he doesn't want to do that. He said he doesn't want every game to be about him. They have to win games.
Well, then he's saying he's done.
I know. This is what I'm saying. I know. He's done. I mean, honestly, I see no fault in them getting 22 starters back, entire coaching staff, and AB back, trying to run it back and go back-to-back. Nobody faults you. We all know how impossible that is. We just saw it unfold in front of you. We knew they were going to be injured. They just won a Super Bowl. They played more games than everybody. So,
Than everybody, right?
And then you have AB, who was eventually going to explode.
Yep.
You know, so.
And now the reports are coming out that the Bucks offered to pay $200,000 for his mental health.
Yeah. So.
I mean, it's just looking. I mean, if they really truly have these receipts, it's looking bad.
So then you also have Byron Leftwich is the front runner right now for the Jags job.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yep.
It totally makes sense. So you're going to lose your offensive coordinator.
And with young Trevor Lawrence, I think it's a good pairing. You know what I mean? Young backcourt.
So, you know, the purge that usually happens after a Super Bowl is going to happen this year in Tampa. So it's a good time for Tom to walk away. What else do you... There is nothing that you can do. Even if you win another Super Bowl, it literally does not enhance your resume anymore after going to a new team and winning in year one. There's nothing else you can do. What, are you going to go to another team and win another one? Who fucking cares, dude?
Yeah.
The only thing that would work is if he went back to New England and won another one.
Right.
And Bill would never allow that to happen as long as he's still breathing. So,
or, just come to the Giants and win one with us. Win one in Giant Blue, you know.
That would be hilarious, actually.
That would be some whole other shit.
Giants fans wouldn't know what to think.
They'd be like, oh, okay. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
That's another one, Tom.
Yeah, exactly. That's 3.
What a good guy.
He wanted to complete the trifecta.
Him and Eli become best friends.
Hilarious. It'd be so much fun.
Funny.
But yeah, so many.
Yeah, but you gotta think, Sue and Ndamukong Suh probably gone. The only one on the defense that is staying would be
White,
Winfield Jr., Devin White. I guess a couple of Bunting, a couple of the corners.
I think JPP might be up too.
He might be up. I could actually see him staying. But Shaq Barrett, I know they just re-signed him a little bit, so you may have Shaq Barrett back.
I can guarantee you.
I don't know what Vita Vea's situation is.
I can guarantee you, if Tom calls it quits, the BA is going to be like, "Yo, I'm good. So you're going to see a wholesale change there.
Yeah.
Russ leaves Seattle. You can see Pete Carroll being like, "Yo, I'm done. I'm not doing this."
Yep.
Sean Payton, he's done in New Orleans, but I couldn't see him. The only thing that I could see him doing is if they can't get rid of Big Mike this year and they have to go through another year, and him just sitting out for a year and waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, he's going to get hired by someone, and it should be Dallas.
Yeah.
It just makes go there.
Dallas makes the most sense. So I could see him doing a gap year. And
he's not going to go be an offensive coordinator somewhere. It's Sean fucking Payton.
No. He'll do a gap year, but they'll be in constant communications.
Well, Emmanuel, that's another wild card out there is Deshaun Watson. What if Sean Payton got a hold of Deshaun Watson somewhere? You saw the look on your face?
That's what I'm saying, package deal. So if you have Sean Payton and Deshaun Watson both going to Denver, Denver has great package deal ability right now. Where you start with your head coach and your QB. That's and you know what he can do with QBs. So
that's what I'm saying. Is everyone has to remember what Sean Payton was able to achieve. Now, I'm not discounting Drew Brees' Hall of Fame career or his ability, because there were things that he was better than everyone else at. He was outrageously accurate. He put it on the eyeballs on purpose because it makes you look at it. Things like that. Great leadership. But this is a limited quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He's not taking off and running. He can barely see over the line. He has to create windows for him to see, and he doesn't have the arm strength. Russell Wilson will go down the field.
Yes, he will.
And they're the same size. Drew never had that, especially once he got hurt in San Diego. His ability to go down the field never recovered.
Right.
But he altered his game like Chad Pennington did. It's just he was better than Chad Pennington at it.
Another matchup. You can see head coach, quarterback. If Brian Daboll somehow doesn't end up with the Giants, which it looks like he will, I highly doubt that they're going to hire Brian Flores. But if by some reason he doesn't end up with the Giants, look for Brian Daboll to end up somewhere, and then them pairing him with one of these free agent quarterbacks, possibly a Deshaun Watson, because you saw what Brian Daboll did with.
I know what I would do. If Daboll's open for a job, I would fire Brian Staley and hire Daboll for the Chargers.
Yep. Sure. Yep.
Look what he did with Josh Allen, and Justin Herbert came in from day one and was year 3 Josh Allen.
Yeah.
So, because Brandon Staley's just not it. He's not it. You can tell. He's not it. He looks like somebody who played Madden and never actually played football, and you can tell by the way he carries himself. It's just like the decisions he makes, like constantly going for it on 4th and whatever in your own territory.
Constantly.
Early in games, just getting behind and just hoping Herbert can bail you out somehow.
Yeah.
Your head coach is supposed to
That's
put
a different type of analytic. Yeah, that's straight Madden. He's straight.
That's Madden. That's Madden type shit. So you're supposed to, as a head coach, put your players in the best position for them to execute and win. And
I would say even early Madden mode, because when you would try to do that in later Madden mode, they were like, no, it's not gonna. You're gonna fail.
Yeah. So
it was more like Tecmo Bowl mode.
The salary cap goes up this year after the Rona year, and the NFL hit home runs in the playoffs. I don't know if you saw the ratings. The Chiefs and Bills game had 43 million people watching.
Of course.
Dude, that doesn't even count everybody who else was actually watching that doesn't get counted, because, like me, who streamed it from a website from fucking Canada.
Yeah.
Shit like that. Like 43, that's Super Bowl numbers.
Yeah.
And then the week before, one of the playoff games in primetime, all the fucking Chiefs and Steelers game had 30 million people watching. That fucking stink fest.
I know.
The NFL...
because, people thought it's going to be Ben's last game ever. They already knew.
Yeah, but, dude, the NFL is absolute king right now. So,
sure.
You're looking for the salary cap to even bump up, actually even more when they get the final numbers in, especially after these playoffs, because these playoffs have been pretty fucking good. So,
they've been ripping.
All these quarterbacks on the move, all these head coaching vacancies, we're going to see a year.
And these young quarterbacks stuck with these teams that have been trash for so long, who are just looking for coaching. Like Justin Fields in Chicago, he needs a head coach.
Trevor Lawrence needs a head coach, man.
Trevor Lawrence needs a good head coach. You know what I'm saying?
Kyler Murray needs an actual head.
Deserves a good head coach.
Kyler Murray needs a real head coach.
Kyler Murray needs, because we're seeing Cliff Kingsbury ain't it.
So that's another thing. So Kimes, is it? Whoever it is that owns the Cardinals is not happy with Cliff Kingsbury's late season performances.
Right.
So you could see him possibly move. Probably won't happen this year, but next year they're going to move on from him, because he never deserved a head coaching job in the NFL anyway.
The only excuse, the only thing that'll stave off his firing for now is that D-Hop did get hurt and missed a plethora of games. So the J.J. Watt, they dealt with some injuries. They did get banged up. So run it back with him one more time. And regardless of what happens next year, if there's not positive results, holla.
Yeah. So that'd be hilarious if Sean Payton sits out a year and then ends up in Arizona.
Oof.
With Kyler and then all those weapons that they built around Kyler. That'd be hilarious. Just so he could spurn Dallas and be like, fuck you, Jerry. You should have hired me the first time.
That would be I would love that.
I know you would. Personal satisfaction in that one.
Mike McCarthy, stay in Dallas as long as you like, buddy. I love the job you're doing.
Trent Williams might not be playing for the Niners this weekend. Not
ankle.
Right? Yeah, not a good sign for Jimmy G against that defensive line.
Yeah. You lose your best lineman, and people just see how massive he is and don't really realize he's pretty quick too. Like, he pulls. He's a big man, and he will pull around that corner and flatten linebackers and safeties.
Yeah, 100%. So it's interesting that you saw, of course, that defensive line was giving Tom Brady issues with Tristan Wirfs being out and the backup literally hopping on one leg in between snaps. They moved a backup guard to the tackle position for a stretch there. They were really hurt, but you saw once it got into, all right, it's either me or this ain't happening, even Tom Brady was able to just mitigate quick decisions, get the ball out quick, Even if I'm going downfield, I'm getting it out quick. Like, Jimmy G doesn't do that.
And you saw on the other side, Whitworth's replacement held it down. JPP was not getting pressure on Matthew Stafford.
Well, you saw the Bucs. That whole roster came out flat. They were so flat to start the game. Even Tom, he was 0 for 7 to start the game or something retarded.
Yeah. That first half was bad. I mean, them getting that turnover right before the half
saved it.
Super key. I was like, wow, that's huge.
Well, to me
like the Rams.
Well, that just said, all right, Tom knows he's got a shot now. He just had a shot with that one fumble, because if the Rams score right there, that game's already over.
That game's already over, yeah.
And even I knew it was kind of already over, because I knew it was going to come down to, is the Bucs defense going to be able to make a play? And they weren't able to, because the secondary's been banged up all year. You have the Triple Crown winner in the NFL, one-on-one. Not smart. I don't care if it's an all-out blitz and your Tampa's defense. All Matthew Stafford has to do is throw it up and give his guy a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And he did. He back it up. He just threw it.
Dropped a dime. Yeah.
And, I mean, he's a Triple Crown winner for a fucking reason.
Exactly.
We'll get to those bad...
No matter what.
We'll get to those late game, the inability for certain units in crunch time to execute. Tom Brady in late game executes. I talked about this. There's only been one Super Bowl where he was on the field and didn't close it out. The Eagles win. He got strip sacked. They lost, right? We all thought he was going to at least go down and tie it with the field goal, go to overtime, and it didn't happen. Mm-hmm. Fuck you, Brandon Graham.
I know. Yeah.
But every other one, he answered, went down the field and scored, and then their defense just didn't stop them. Giants twice went straight down the field. It's just it's always happened like that. Even in big games, they went and scored. And I looked at the clock and was just like, that's too much fucking time against this secondary. It's 40-some seconds. That's too much time. You saw what Patrick Mahomes did with 13 seconds.
13 seconds, which...
Another hilarious thing, because one of these losing coaches in the wild card round said that you can't win a game in, I think he said 16 seconds or something. Mm-hmm. Like they had 16 seconds left and didn't try.
Yeah.
And didn't try.
Just didn't even try.
Yeah, didn't try to win the game. Just took it to overtime and ended up losing or whatever it was. It was one of those scenarios. And
you gotta try.
And then the very next week, Patrick Mahomes with 13 seconds. Beep, 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 like nothing. I mean, I know they don't have Patrick Mahomes.
True.
And they don't have...
Even in the big game, in the biggest play, Kelsey said he saw something on the field. This is what makes football the ultimate team sport. Kelsey said, I see something on the field. I know what play they want me to run. I ain't going to do that. And so Patrick said, all right, let me see. He checked it, and you could hear him. If you see the replay, you listen. He's like, Kelsey, do it. Do it, Kelsey. Do it. Then he does it. Bang. Right down the middle.
It was crazy, too. So if you go and watch the overhead cam, and you'll see exactly, on the play before, you could see that they were set up on boundaries for some reason. These guys had 2 fucking timeouts.
Like they're about to go out of bounds. Right. They have timeouts.
And safeties deep, like they're going to throw a Hail Mary. Like, what are you doing? They only need to get about 40 yards. That's one play with these guys.
Yeah.
You're going to give them 2? And they gave them 2.
Receivers, Tyreek Hill and then Kelsey.
Genius first play. That goes to show you coaching's like a poker face. Andy Reid, been here, done this before. He knows they're going to be bailing. Let's run a screen to Tyreek. Get 4 people in front of him. Easy.
Mm-hmm.
Very next. So on that one, everyone saw they were bailing to the boundaries. Kelsey, on the very next play, pushed it to the boundary and then just went right up the seam.
Right, yeah.
And there was nobody there. He was so wide open, he actually had to slide and give himself up.
He jumped down, yep.
So that they had him.
Yeah.
So that they had enough time. Like, so he was completely butt naked open. That's on that defensive coordinator.
Yep.
What are you doing? That's on. I don't know who their D coordinator is.
I don't know who their D coordinator is either.
I really hate the overtime rules because Josh Allen should have had a chance to answer.
So I've been getting this question. What should you do? Obviously, you took everything else from college, just about. You took the 2-point conversion. Take the way they do their overtime.
That's it. You give them a chance to answer. If they score another touchdown, it goes back to them. Until somebody wins the game. It's a playoff game.
Give them a chance to see if they. You saw how the game was going. It was touchdown, 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 touchdown. That's what the people wanted to see. They wanted to see what Josh was going to do one more time.
Nobody wanted to see him on the sideline with the fucking coat on, sitting there.
It was the same thing when people were upset when it was Mahomes on the sideline who didn't get an opportunity against
Tom Brady.
They wanted to see if Mahomes could do it and bring him back. And these are even people who love Tom Brady, but a lot of people love Tom Brady. It's like, please, no Mahomes, no Mahomes. But some people were like, you know what? Let's see if he can do it.
Yeah, I mean, for the playoffs at least.
Yeah, most people want to see if he could do it.
I mean, what the fuck are we doing? We might as well play rock, paper, scissors out there instead of flipping a coin.
Because it's shown, if you flip the coin and you win the coin toss, you are most likely going to win the game.
10 and 1 in playoffs.
Crazy. That's too high of a percentage. It just makes it a competitive advantage.
Well, so what you have to look at, what they're not consider there are is like, well, the defense is out there. They have to make a play too. They're not looking at the context of what usually happens in games that get forced into overtime. Every single time, if you go back and look at all 11 of them, one team is up a lot, and the other team comes storming back.
That other team is shell-shocked.
Shell-shocked, and their defense is absolutely gassed. And that's what happened to Buffalo.
They got wrecked. Yeah.
That happened to them. They made this miraculous comeback, back and forth defense. Because Josh Allen, you have to remember, Kerry, Josh Allen had a 75-yard touchdown, one-play drive on one of those in between Kansas City going up the field slowly.
Yes. Yeah.
So that defense was done. And then they have to go out and try to answer the call in overtime, and it was just they literally bing.
And you saw what happened, and you know why? That Bills defensive coordinator was so shook, and he had them playing so long because just a few plays before that, Tyreek Hill scored on a mostly run 64-yard pass play where he ran, choking the deuce with 15 yards to go. I mean, so yeah, it was shook, and then his speed, just forget it. Him, McCole Hardman, the way they utilized that speed, they just wore the Bills out.
Yeah, it was 100%. Just you could see it. They were completely gassed. Even Pringle on that crossing, the first play in overtime, he was completely wide open. Completely. And you saw Poyer he wasn't even sprinting behind him trying to get. He just didn't have it.
Yeah.
And it was just like the game shouldn't end this way. It shouldn't end this way.
You saw at the end, he was on his knees. He was done. He was wrapped. Like most of those players couldn't even move. So Bills players on the bench shocked because they had celebrated twice in the fourth quarter, thinking it was over.
Yeah.
It was already done. They were already in the AFC Championship game until they weren't.
Yeah. So I could see after that particular game that the discussion for changing the playoff overtime rules will be had now.
Oh, yeah. Especially considering that these two teams may run this back a few times.
So, over the last 3 times that they've played each other, total score 100-98.
That's crazy.
They are just neck and neck, and it's awesome to watch because Josh Allen has ascended to the level to keep up with Patrick Mahomes, and it was not only was he keeping up with him, he was actually dictating the pace, and Patrick Mahomes actually had to keep up with him.
And then also, if people look at his stats, they'll see he threw for 378, almost 400. He also ran 69 yards and a touchdown. So
Patrick Mahomes also had over 60 yards rushing.
No, that's what I'm talking about. I'm saying Patrick Mahomes had 69 yards and a touchdown. They're only talking about like what he did with his arm. He was running in the playoffs. This is what Patrick Mahomes does. He runs in the playoffs.
It's just that Super Bowl game last year was such an anomaly.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't even talk about that Super Bowl game, but it just regular playoffs.
No, I'm saying that one game was such an anomaly on his resume. Like, that was a scenario just like the Bills in week 1 of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
There was no team in the NFL that was going to beat them in that particular game. Nobody was going to beat the Bucs in that particular Super Bowl. Tom Brady threw 3 picks and they still dominated.
Yeah.
Like,
that defense was just
humming, dude. It was ugly. So it was almost as bad as Denver and Carolina when Cam went to the Super Bowl. That one was ugly.
Oh, I thought you say Denver, Seattle.
Well, that one was ugly too.
Yeah, that was ugly.
See, that's another defense that just dominated and won. Yeah. That Denver and Carolina one, though, all I remember is Cam not diving onto the ground to get the ball, and that's how much he was done with the shit. Like, nah, fuck it.
Yeah.
So, let's get into some game coverage. Bengals and Titans. Yeah, I missed like every game this week because I went with what I thought was going to happen instead of what I wanted to happen because I wanted the Bengals to win.
Yeah.
But I also said bringing King Henry back it might hurt this team.
Deontay Foreman had the hot hand.
Yeah, they should have went with him and just let King Henry spell him, see if he gets some pop. I know it takes 30 carries for him to get into a game. You ain't have this in this game.
Yeah, because in the second half, you could see Henry starting to warm up.
A little bit. He started to run forward, get some confidence. That first,
and then on those drives, each one that I saw ended in a Tannehill turnover.
Boy, did he play terrible.
Oh, it was bad.
I wonder what Todd McShay was thinking about that motherfucking game. Fuck you, Todd McShay. I told you Tannehill was terrible. Dude, that was terrible. First play pick, last play pick.
Bad. I mean, I averted my attention because it looked like Tennessee was going to win. I was doing something else. And all of a sudden, Cincinnati has the rock. And I was like, how? Wait a minute. The score hasn't changed. What? What did Tannehill, first thing out of my mouth, what did Tannehill do?
So he was responsible for 4 turnovers by himself. 3 picks and 1 RPO on a 4th and 1 in which he chose to keep it instead of giving it to Derrick Henry, and he got stuffed.
Mm-hmm.
That's all on him. That's an RPO. That's his decision.
Yeah.
So that's 4 turnovers against the Bengals, who didn't play awesome, but it's hard to win with 4 turnovers. And listen, I've seen superior Patriots teams lose in playoff games, and you know it's going to happen because it's usually like the first play of the game, Tom has a pick, and you're just like, uh-oh. Oh, it's going to be one of those. Here we go. Mm-hmm. You just, first play of the fucking first play? Oh, that sets the tone just. Like, it's also like you can't score quick. So like Green Bay, right? In their game with San Francisco. They right down the field, nothing. Like it was nothing. Right. And then they never sniffed the end zone again. Right? My junior year, the playoff game we lost. Running back took the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. First play of the game, we're up 7-0. Mm-hmm. We stop them, get the ball back. Very first carry, 80-yard touchdown. We're up 14-0 in literally under 3 minutes. We got beat 28-14. We went completely flat from that moment on because we were like, oh, we got this.
Yeah.
They were just 2 fluke plays. That team absolutely physically fucking abused us for the rest of that game. And that's what you thought Tennessee might do, but Tannehill just kept giving the ball away, especially the last one, triple coverage to fucking Erskine, Skine, Westbrook, Smith, whatever his name is.
I know.
You have A.J. Brown and Julio who had his first good game as a Titan. Julio was getting kind of busy.
Okay.
He was present. See, you didn't watch it. He had probably 6 or 7 catches.
Oh, wow.
They were going to him early, and I was just like, oh, this is what they needed. But they kept going to fucking Henry to try to get him going. And when they would go to Foreman, he would fucking 7-8 yards. I'm just like, whoa, what are you doing? And then they kept putting the ball in Tannehill's hands to decide the game. And
if it was Hoodie, you know what he would have done? It'd have been Foreman time. That's it.
Yeah. Henry wouldn't even have made it back onto the roster if that was New England. If Foreman was playing that well, they wouldn't have wasted the roster spot in the playoffs by bringing an injured Henry back. We don't need you. We get this ring, you get one too, don't worry. You don't have to prove anything. You're Derrick Henry. Like, there's nothing to prove. Get healthy. I knew it. I knew it was going to happen. I knew they were going to try to lean on him too much to get him going. You know, the crowd was all into it and shit. And, you know, Joey Boyband don't give a fuck about none of that shit, dude.
No, he does not.
9 sacks, whatever. I won't even complain.
I was like, man, yeah, he didn't even complain. I was like, I said, and I heard some, I don't know, I heard some analysts say it later, but what did I say? I was like, they're doing Joey Boyband no favors. I see nobody in the flats. I see no short routes at all. He's holding the ball. How many times do you have to see this kid get smacked around before you tell someone to run a hot route, run a slant, be in a flat? Like, what are we doing?
So this is the one thing that this offense is missing outside of a competent offensive line, is they don't have Edelman, Amendola.
Right. They need a Robert Woods.
They need that guy that just occupies open spaces and does it with his mind. Like, he knows what is needed at the time. Is like, all right, this is a gap, I'm going here.
That's what Tyler Boyd needs to do.
He's been overshadowed completely. You can't even be the go route guy because Chase is.
Yeah.
He's faster than you anyway, so get out of here with that shit. You're not Van Jefferson.
Short. He can eat. Him and the tight end can eat working short.
Yeah, they need to do that. Tyler Boyd needs to recreate his. He needs to stay there because it's going to be too much fun to be in that offense.
He could be their Jamison Crowder.
Dude, all he has to do is look at how the numbers that Welker put up. Mm-hmm. Just the sheer numbers that he put up in Tom Brady's offense. And at a time when Randy Moss is scoring 26 fucking touchdowns, 110 catches. Like,
look at what Peyton did in Denver when he had Demaryius Thomas and he had Welker. Welker still ate. Welker ate plenty.
Look at Edelman's entire career.
Yeah.
Like,
even to a lesser extent, Danny Amendola. He just kept getting concussed. But yeah, same thing.
Even if he wants to still go vertical sometimes, just do what Tyler Lockett does, man.
Sure.
You know, because you're not going to be the downfield threat when you got 6'5",
T. Higgins,
long arms and vertical threat, and then you've got this guy over here who's he's the best wide receiver in the NFL, not named Devontae Adams or Cooper Kupp right now.
Or Cooper Kupp, yeah.
This guy's incredible, and he's only getting started.
Yep.
It's only getting started. Now, Debo, he doesn't count as a wide receiver.
Debo's an athlete. He's just a football player.
You know, so when they go into the draft, it just says ATH, athlete. There's no designation. Now that's an actual thing now.
Yeah.
It's just an athlete.
Yep.
Oh, I saw they were bringing up Percy Harvin highlights when talking about Debo, and I was just like, oh my God, look at that guy go. He was so big. And just... what a career unfulfilled over fucking headaches. If Terrell Davis can do it, you can do it, Percy Harvin.
That's what I'm saying. At least give me a good 7.
Terrell Davis was doing it at running back, which is a lot of head collisions. You're a wide receiver. You can call Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt and learn how to never get hit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He just breaks so many fucking tackles. He's gonna go. It would never work.
He craved the contact.
So Joey Boyband is making his ascension. Not only is he telling Cincinnati to get used to it, I'm telling everybody, you better fucking get used to it because he's just one of those guys.
Yes, he is.
And I think, so this might be the dream team scenario where they had a scrimmage and Mike busted everybody's ass, and then he walked into the locker room and Larry Bird and Magic Johnson were sitting there, and Mike walked in and said, "There's a new sheriff in town," and they looked at each other and said,
Yep.
"Yeah, I think he's right." I think
Yeah.
I think Tom is looking at this and is just like, "All right, league's in good hands. They got this guy. There's so much young talent at quarterback right now, like real talent."
Real talent. Yeah.
You know, so I'm gonna start just calling him Joe Brady. He's the next Tom Brady with his.
Joe Brady.
It's Joe Brady with his clutch ability.
Was the name of a terrible coach, but
Yeah.
yeah.
With his performance in the clutch and his ability to lead.
Yeah.
Like, he makes other players better.
Sure.
I don't know if Justin Herbert I don't know if he makes other players better. I think he's just supremely talented.
Supremely talented. Yeah.
Like, he's just so fucking gifted.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, I don't think he makes players better. I think they play hard for him because of his style of play.
Yeah. They have his back, and they expect him to make the play.
Yeah, see, he's not like elevating the play. They don't come in there like, yo, I got to play better. Like, Tom Brady makes players better. Aaron Rodgers makes second and third wide receivers out of nobodies.
I would say that Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes are the best in the league at extending plays at this point.
Yeah, well, Josh Allen, he's just so big. He's so fucking big.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow makes everyone around him perform better.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
He makes them believe.
Yeah, that's a gift. That guy's going to win multiple Super Bowl titles. That's a Hall of Fame quarterback. It's hilarious that he's in Cincy because they're never going to spend any money to help this guy.
You know, but also, T. Higgins was there the year before. Then they got his boy Jamar. Joe Mixon's just 25.
Oh no, they're primed. They're primed for a run.
This young kid Bates at safety.
I would love to see Sean Payton end up there.
Ooh. But they're tied to Zach Taylor. They love Zach Taylor, and like, see, he's connected with Joey Boyband now. So.
Well, he is now, but Kerry, this is what's happening. Joey Boyband is so good at winning football games. That's his biggest trait, is he just wins. Look, 19-16. That's a Tom Brady score. Doesn't fucking matter, we won. Let's move on. Do you think Zach Taylor is being overrated as a head coach now because this guy is cleaning up your messes a la Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy for a decade in Green Bay?
Sure. So, yeah. So
he wasn't doing this before, you know, like, this is Joey Boy. This guy's special, man.
A mediocre coach will then blow up and look successful on the backs of a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Well,
We've seen that play out multiple times.
Chuck Pagano said it himself. He says, it's funny, I became a much better coach once we got Andrew Luck.
Right.
Like, he said, I didn't change anything. We just got a guy. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So,
we saw what happened when Luck was done.
Yeah, instantly. And you see they're still scrambling, which they might move on from Carson. It's another piece that they're not happy with that decision. That's another roster that is built to win right now.
Which, and just thinking out the box, like looking for places where maybe possibly Jameis Winston could land.
Ooh, I didn't think of that.
The Colts.
Crab legs.
Crab legs indoors. He played at the Superdome for the last 2 seasons. You know, he was tutelage was there. He was having a pretty good season before he started the season hot. Dropped 5 on Green Bay. So I mean,
beat the Bucks early.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see where no one's talking about him, but he could be a huge piece. And also, you have such a dominant running game there right now. You have an amazing offensive line. You're not going to ask him to do much, but he also has the arm strength to get it downfield to Pittman, to Parrish.
So the only question you would have to ask yourself is, do you go almost laterally in decision making, because Carson Wentz makes stupid fucking bonehead decisions and Crab Legs hasn't had enough film yet that proves that he doesn't make bad decisions.
True, but he had 2 years tutelage under Sean Payton and 1 year tutelage under Breeze.
Oh no, I'm on board with you. I'm just playing sports analyst right now because he was able to win against playoff teams without Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
Without Emmanuel Sanders anymore. Mm-hmm. Basically with no Marquez Callaway or whoever the hell that guy was.
Marquez Callaway.
That guy came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And
then he disappeared as soon as Jameis was done.
So,
even though that guy didn't lose any speed, he was still running the same routes. Quarterbacks just didn't. Taysom Hill wasn't going to get it to him.
So, one thing that I'll give Crab Legs, he does have the trait where players perform better when they play with him than their normal performance.
They do.
Which you see everyone talks about how much they love him in the locker room and whatnot.
And they forget he's a winner.
Yeah.
He won as a true freshman. He won the Natty.
He threw a walk-off touchdown.
Yeah. To a guy who's not even in the league anymore, Kelvin Benjamin. He made Kelvin Benjamin better.
That's what I'm saying.
Kelvin Benjamin did to himself was the #1 overall pick. Like, that wasn't a mistake.
Yeah, no, I never put Crab Legs in that category because he hasn't won any Super Bowls, but he actually does make the players around him perform above their rating levels.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. I never even thought about that one, but
and he also has this belief in himself where you're just like, you believe in yourself that much? Wow, that's okay. I mean, to the point where you got to look, well, is he wrong? He was just like, yeah, I was balling. He threw 30 picks, but he also threw 30 touchdowns and over 5,000 yards yet again.
Yo, I feel like I'm the best quarterback in the NFL right now. I was like...
Yeah. I mean, he's just this unreasonable confidence in himself, but at the same time, you got to believe in yourself, and he just does.
Yeah, when he said that one, I just like, Tom's still playing, dude. Aaron Rodgers still plays football. Like,
and then he also said, you know what? He said, I'm honored that they had to get Tom Brady, the GOAT, to take my spot. And I was like, that is one way to look at that. You know what I mean? Like, my job didn't got taken. They just got the GOAT. I was like, I like, that was the only one who could have replaced him. And I was like, okay.
See, I never heard that. I now like Jameis Winston because of that comment alone.
You know what I'm saying?
Just off the chart self-confidence. I fucking love it.
Off the charts.
Completely narcissistic, but in a very happy, positive way, which is hilarious.
But it also informed him that he needed to get better. So he decided to sit.
Well,
young players, #1 overall drafted quarterbacks, especially, and said, you know what? I need some more seasoning. I'm going to go to this veteran QB and this head coach and just sit and learn.
All right. So let me play Skip Bayless for a second. He also had just gotten eye surgery and had to learn how to play quarterback with actual vision for the first time. So he had to sit somewhere.
Okay.
No, this also goes to his commitment on getting better. He actually went and was just like...
He did. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
It blows my mind that he never wore contacts or anything. Just fucking played blurry. Whatever.
Always squinting.
Yeah.
I know, that's ridiculous.
Are you kidding me?
That's ridiculous.
Incredible. So, congratulations, Joey Boy Band. Good for them. Incredible. It's so much fun. Love to see the Bengals actually do something.
I was almost tempted to switch to the Titans, but I was like, no. The receiving core did it for me. I was like,
I switched.
Actually, Jamar Chase, I was like, who's going to cover him? No one's going to cover him.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, but I also thought that the Titans could do something like this and keep them to 19. I didn't think Tannehill was going to go out there and have 4 turnovers.
Yeah.
He hadn't been having turnovers because they hadn't counted on him to do anything. And when they didn't need him to do something, he just threw it to A.J. Brown, and then they would get busy. We talked about it all season. Remember, all of a sudden he found out A.J.
Brown had a good game.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. But all of a sudden, at one point in the season, they had a losing streak for a couple games. And then it was just like he forgot he had that guy, and then he remembered, and they went on a winning streak again. And then even Julio showing up, and they still could only put up 16. That's what 4 turnovers does to you. Even if you get 1 field goal in any of that, you're going to overtime. It's now 19-19. Cincinnati's kicking that field goal to make it to overtime. Just same thing happened in our next game. Packers went straight down the field and then didn't show up the rest of the fucking game. I know the 49ers defense is pretty solid. But, like, come on, Aaron Rodgers. He said it today. He's like, they just could not get back into a rhythm. Nothing was like, they just felt off. And you could see it. They were just off. Devontae didn't score.
Which that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I know. I bet on a Devontae anytime touchdown. Thanks, guys.
Because that normally happens. And so it doesn't happen. Yeah. Did Randall Cobb even play?
Barely. So, this is something that reminds me of something I want to bring up to you. Your seed in the playoffs, especially as the field condenses further and further down. Defensive game plans taking hold where there is no, we have to hide something for next week or further down the line. We can't do everything, or we haven't figured out how to do everything yet with our personnel, right? And you're seeing, especially this round in the playoffs, superstars didn't do shit. Debo didn't score. Devontae didn't score. Aaron Rodgers didn't do shit. Tom Brady, in a miracle run at the end, showed up. Gronk didn't score in the playoffs. Are you serious? Gronk didn't score? Like,
I will say, though, Debo's impact on that game was immense.
Of course.
That's one of those games you can't measure with his...
No. I'm just saying, you're looking at defensive game plans where they're like, somebody else has to beat us.
But I was telling you with the Bills, I was saying it's going to have to be Gabriel Davis or Knox, and you see what Davis did. I was like, yeah, Davis was just open, and he was just destroying his dude over and over and over again.
Well, if you play fantasy football now, I'm 2 seasons deep into it. That third receiver, there's like 2 times a year on each team, that third receiver has a 2 or 3 touchdown game because there's some defense that just for some reason doesn't account, or their back end of their secondary is trash. Like the Bucks are.
Emmanuel Sanders, the number 2, had I think 2 or 1 reception.
Diggs, they held. See, that was the thing. They completely held
Diggs. 2-point conversion. That was Biggs' biggest play, the 2-point conversion.
They held Diggs in check, and they kind of held Knox in check.
Yeah, so it was Davis time.
So shout out to Josh Allen for always finding who's open, going through your progressions and reads, and not throwing to somebody based off of whatever play it is.
Which then takes us right back to Green Bay, San Francisco, because on that last incompletion, he threw into double coverage to Devontae Adams when Adam Lazard was wide open on a crossing route, which would have put them right in field goal position.
Yeah.
Wide open.
Yeah, he did not play well. And he said it. He did not play well himself, It is crazy because it was the MVP. Tom or him or both, it'd probably be him. Tom might sneak it out based off of the Roney scenario with Rodgers and the fact that he laid an egg in the playoffs. And Tom didn't. Tom had a furious comeback.
Yeah. Furious comeback. I mean, you see the old grizzled bloody. Now we have that image of him with the bloody lip now. If it's not Boston, bloody sock, bloody lips, but Tampa now. But yeah,
I bleed for this shit.
You see more gray. You saw more gray in Tom's hair than you've ever seen ever. So I was like, damn.
He got a. Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that one next. But so Green Bay, if Aaron Rodgers goes. It says I'm done here because they do have a cap scenario. They are going to lose some key. One of the Smith defensive ends definitely gone. One of them. They're not going to be able to afford both of them. Right. Rasul Douglas could probably command a lot more money than he came in for after this season he put up.
Yeah.
So they're going to have trouble keeping some key pieces from this year. Devontae, free agent this year. They could franchise him. They probably will, even though he might be like
they're not going to lose Aaron and Devontae same year.
But if I'm Devontae, I'm just going to be like, I'm going to sit out a year. I'm not playing with Jordan Love. You're not putting that on my body. I'm going to wait until you can't franchise me twice, and I'm going to go play wherever Aaron's at. Or if Aaron retires, I'm going to where Derek's at.
Jordan Ball would be putting the ball in places to just get Devontae destroyed.
Yeah, like Aaron. See, so
Aaron throws people open. Or he just puts it right on him, or he throws you open.
See, he throws them open. Tom protects his receivers with his ball placement. Right. He doesn't allow them to get hit. It's always low and away. You have to know. See, there was a thing in this Bucks game early on where him and Tyler Johnson were not on the same page.
Nah.
Because Tyler Johnson doesn't understand those scenarios. If there's a linebacker coming, I'm putting it low to your backside to protect you. And he was getting rocked without catching the ball.
I know.
And Tom was yelling at him. I'm just looking at him like that kid has no idea how to play football with Tom.
Yep.
It's been 2 years, so he's not going to figure it out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could see it. I was just like,
Because you really see Tom missing Godwin, because Godwin figured it out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Aaron does. He will throw somebody into a safe place. Tom is just going to protect the ball and you, because he needs you for the next play.
Yep.
You know, the Rams did it different. They would catch the ball and then just slide on their own. Like, nope, you're not hitting me. Let's go.
Sure.
Hilarious. Hilarious. Yep. Won a Super Bowl doing that. Packers, though. Aaron leaves. They're going to suck, dude. They're going to suck. Because Devontae, even if you only keep him for 1 year on that franchise tag, he's not staying after that.
Nah.
So.
Yeah, you're going to see, a steep decline.
Well, so you got to think about this. The Colts were able to pull it off, but then they had the steep decline after Andrew Luck said, nah, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots somehow pulled it off by fucking getting Mac Jones to fall to them, right? Yeah. They only took a year off of irrelevancy.
Mm-hmm.
All right? The Packers were the first ones to do it. You go on from 20 years of Brett Favre to fucking 20 years of Aaron Rodgers.
I know.
And now you get Jordan goddamn Love. Ain't no love in the heart of the city.
Nah. Nobody likes this kid.
This not...
Like, you could be the kid that they don't like, right? Because especially when you got to remember,
they didn't like Aaron Rodgers.
Fans that did not like Rodgers because he was encroaching on Favre. But then he came in and he started balling. They were like, oh no, we all right. We okay. Okay, no, Brett. No, stay over there, Brett. We're good, Brett.
Dude, Pats fans, we've all done it. All of us instantly said, thank you, Tom. It's Mac's team now. You've gone and won a Super Bowl somewhere else. You've done the Peyton Manning thing. We have a guy. It's his team now. That we've already moved on from the era. Like, still got the hoodie. We're still doing this now. So, it's...
But you can't be the new guy and then all suck.
That's what I'm saying.
Hope that you can,
Especially with these young quarterbacks who are just absolutely balling right now.
Mm-hmm.
Second and third year quarterbacks that are just lighting up the league. They're now the face of the league. Patrick Mahomes has already won. Josh Allen's incredible. Justin Herbert is the golden boy. Joey Boy Band, forget about it. This guy is...
It's like buying stock. When you buy a stock and you just get it low and that thing just hits versus a stock where everyone's been talking about it and they've been hyping it up, and you get it and it just underperforms every single time. Danny Dum-Dum. Yes. I know what it's like to see all these young quarterbacks out there balling and then have one that you're just like, what?
Especially when there's other quarterbacks that you could have had.
Yeah, this stock is tanking.
Tank, like all of them are right now. So, speaking of teams that might suck, the Bucks. Be rough for them next year, dude.
I know.
Like, hey, just be thankful that Tom came and gave you one.
I know. With a franchise like that, how do you feel? Like, you could stay mired in suckdom for 15 years, win one, be successful for 2 years, win one, and then suck for another 15, or just have 15 years of steady success, get close a couple times, maybe eke one out. I don't know. What would people prefer?
I think if you don't win one by eking it out, then just getting the Super Bowl in there is everything.
You just kind of like good, but never get it, versus suck, get you one, and then suck some more, maybe get you one another time. It's like a generational thing.
Yeah, would you rather be the Chargers or the Bucks fans? The Chargers constantly good and
right,
and never make it.
I need a ring.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Or just get that one. Yeah, just get that one.
Yeah.
Get that one.
Because even those Buck fans, they'd be like, yeah, we sucked for 15 straight years, but we got this championship.
Yeah, we got two of them, actually.
Yeah, I know. But then that's what Eagles fans will have forever, which I hate. But as soon as they got one, I'm like, can never hold that against them again, because they said, yeah, we sucked for all this time, or we were successful, we missed, but then we finally got one.
Yep,
Once
they
you
finally got
finally
one.
have one, the conversation forever changes.
100%. 100%. So they might go back to Suckville, which is fine. Whatever. You guys got one.
Yep.
This game, man, 27-3. 27-3. And then this guy, in a blink of an eye almost, I actually missed the Mike Evans touchdown because and Cam Akers fumble, because I was like, listen, even if they mount a comeback, the defense isn't good enough to stop the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to win this game, which is essentially what happened. But
the drama.
The drama of it, I just checked my phone and I'm just like, wait a minute, what's going on? And I come back, I'm just
and
like,
then
of course.
In real time, not only just what was happening on the field, but in real time, people tweeting about it, posting messages about it, like, I cannot believe what I am seeing. It was prime time TV. It was J.R. Ewing getting shot on Dallas. You know what I'm saying? You're finally going to find out who the killer is. It's you were locked in, and then you came to expect this story that has played out time and time again. And then the old vet rising to the top, tying it up in improbable circumstances. But then the one who said the reason why they brought Matthew Stafford there was for that one throw. I mean, also to take the Super Bowl, but because of that
throw, because Jared Goff doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't make that throw. So on that play, they called a zero blitz.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Arians said immediately afterwards, everybody wasn't on the same page. There were players who didn't get the call.
Because Levante David didn't go.
Levante David just stood there. He not only did he not blitz, he didn't bail out deep and cover underneath and allow Winfield to not be one-on-one with the goddamn Triple Crown winner on a safety. Like, what are we doing out there?
Yeah.
Just terrible decisions.
Yeah.
Same thing in the Chiefs game, to be honest with you. Travis Kelce, out and right up. The second he went out, I knew exactly where the ball was going, because that fucking linebacker bit on that shit. Not only were they gassed, you had him covering Travis Kelce one-on-one in the red zone. Like, who do you think he's throwing it to? Just hold him to a field goal and let Josh Allen go win this game. And they just couldn't do it because there were, in crunch time, there were bad decisions on defense in every fucking game.
Oh, absolutely.
It was incredible, the ineptitude in late game decision making. And this is
most sphincters are like this.
This is why
They're
Bill
closed baby fists.
Yeah, Bill Belichick always excelled at these scenarios because he didn't blink.
And they were always ready. They always practiced that scenario.
You know, like Mike McCarthy, Big Mike saying they practiced that quarterback sneak and him slide and all that.
They did not practice that bullshit.
You saw Travis Kelce slide with just enough time to get everything done, give himself up, know the rules, the scenario, be prepared, get this done. We can actually cover 40 yards in 2 plays in 13 seconds. This is going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, this is actually going to happen. And then you knew when that happened, when Travis Kelce called, he's making that kick. I texted you the Bills.
Yeah.
The Bills deserve to lose this game because of them guarding the boundaries and giving up the seam on that. I don't care if Travis Kelce freestyled. That shouldn't have been an option.
No, it shouldn't have been.
At all.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Let them try to get a deep out where you have the sideline as an extra defender.
Yes, exactly. You want that.
So the execution was terrible, but not for the kickers.
Nope. Kickers came through. And then you just saw once the kick went through, the Bills were already done.
Yeah.
They were done. They were like, wow, I can't believe this. But as soon as that comes out of your mouth, it's already over. You have to say, all right, well, we just got to go get it. They're like, oh, man. And they're looking at Mahomes now mystified, like, man, this dude, we had him. They were already speaking in the past tense, but we had him.
Yeah, so Patrick Mahomes actually had experience in that scenario on the other side of that, with the Patriots doing the exact same thing to him, which it's a funny way to look at it in his experience of knowing exactly what the Bills are feeling right now and be like, let's go. I know what we can do. We've got them right now. They're on their heels. And they did. Fucking screen pass and a fucking scene. They didn't even,
especially when you have your superstars getting busy. So the one Tyreek Hill got busy. Punt return. He said punt return. He was like, no, I'm going to punt return it. Watch. And he almost took it for a touchdown. Because remember, ladies and gents, that's when he did when he first got in the league. He was taking one to the house almost every other week. And then when he became a primetime receiver, they took him away from that
because
to
it's
save him for receiving.
Well, it's a dangerous position, and also the danger doesn't come in the fact that there are going to be collisions. There's collisions on every play. The danger comes in the fact that if you put Tyreek Hill back there and it's the first quarter of an important game, and I'm going to take a gunner, and if Tyreek Hill calls a fair catch, I'm eating that 15 yards.
Yeah.
Done. We'll see if he finishes this.
He's concussed, and he's done for the day.
And then he might get taken out, but he's a gunner. Who cares? We got like fucking 50 of these guys over here. So that's why you can't throw your best players back there because they will literally get their heads taken off. We can snipe them, whatever.
But I loved it that Debo and Tyreek both did it, and it both worked in the favor of the teams that won.
Well, I mean, in those scenarios, you're supposed to go back there and be like, no, I got this. So you see it in important games with teams that don't need to press the issue, like when the Patriots would be in playoff games. That's when Edelman's returning kicks.
Right.
Because he's not going to return them. He's just going to fair catch it. He's never going to drop it, and now our offense gets the ball. You know, they needed Debo to make a play because their offense wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
And what happens?
He needed Tyreek to make a play.
Yeah.
He did.
And
that kicker, props to that kicker who somehow made a crazy athletic play to get him down.
Well,
he's fighting off a blocker and he's tripping up the fastest guy in the league.
So, you know, Pat McAfee being a former punter, the game that Antonio Brown jumped on and did the slide down the goalpost.
Yeah.
That was a punt return against Pat McAfee.
Ah.
So he said, you know, Antonio Brown, too much of a superstar at this point to be returning kicks. Well, they needed that play. So he said he went out on the field and he's like, didn't even have his fucking shoes tied. He's like tying up his shoes. And he looks, he sees 84 back there. And he's just like, man, what the fuck is he doing back there? And then his asshole just went.
Yep.
He said, not only did I end up kicking it to him, he shook me and then celebrated that will be remembered in clips forever. So he said, I know what the punter was thinking going out there and being like, wait a minute, what's he doing back there?
Yep, Tyreek Hill. Wait a minute. Yeah.
Oh, what do I do? I can't call timeout now. What do I do?
You've seen a player who has eaten off of returns, touchdown. They make 1-2 guys miss and they're gone. It's a different feel.
Well, not only that, you gotta feel bad for the Bills punter because the first punt, Tyreek Hill didn't do anything. They made him re-kick it, and he got busy on him. It was just like, oh, he did his job the first time. Oh, you bubs. Which, as a gunner, especially at the level where you're not on the field every play, and you're on the sideline, you have to come in and be a gunner. You're not run twice down the field at full speed shape.
No, right.
So when there's we got to run this back, as a gunner, you're like, oh, God damn it. I just fought through 2 people in a playoff game and sprinted at full speed to try to catch that guy. My heart was already pounding, and we did it, and now I have to go do it again. Guaranteed that he's going to have a solid return on the second one.
Absolutely.
Gunners are completely gassed.
Happens every single time.
So, it didn't work out in their favor. Debo's just Debo, dude.
Yeah, man.
He's just
a different dude.
He's just a football player. And
they just feed off of his energy. Every time he does something well, that just pumps up San Francisco even more. And their defense just started punching the ball. Like every player on defense who you expect to do something, Bosa getting pressure, Warner stripping the ball. Like everybody was just stepping up.
So
instead, getting busy.
So we have teams that are remaining, even teams that just got eliminated. Their closers are all quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
The Colts, it was Jonathan Taylor. He would fucking close the game out by, you tried to stop the run and get the ball back and he breaks off a 60-yard touchdown. Now you're definitely losing the game, right? So the Niners, the closer is not their quarterback. It's Debo. They just get the ball to him and you go close this thing out for us.
Mm-hmm.
And the Niners know that the team knows that he's the closer.
Yeah.
And that's why they feed off of him, because they know, I just get it to him. Just give him the fucking ball. I don't care if you have to run a wildcat, if he's returning kicks. Put him at safety. He'll pick it off. I don't care.
Yeah.
He's incredible. Absolutely
He's
incredible.
The guy you don't leave. The bus doesn't leave until he's on there.
And not only is he, he's like, he's like if the Honey Badger played offense.
Sure. Yeah.
He's just like one of those guys that just, the ball just, when it's in his hands, he just does good things.
Yep.
Positive things always happen.
I'm glad you brought Honey Badger up, because remember, he got knocked out this game.
Yes.
Don't know his status for the next game, but a slight sign of encouragement, I think, for KC, knowing that you survived the onslaught without Honey Badger, your best defender.
Yes, but you survived an onslaught where Gabriel Davis just had a game for the ages.
Yeah, he did, for the ages of all time. He had an all-time game.
And Tyler Boyd is a better third receiver than Gabriel Davis. And Chase, if you have a backup safety in there, that means that corner is going to be put on an island more often than not. And Chase he's going to beat any corner in the league, including Ramsey. He won't beat him every play, but he will get him.
Yeah.
You just saw Mike Evans got Ramsey.
Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah, it was that crafty veteran, that slow step at the top of the route, and then the quick acceleration.
And Ramsey couldn't catch up.
And he knew it too. He's just like, he fucking got me. He got me.
Yeah, because all he did was just turn around and walk away. He didn't give you tongue no shit. He was like, yeah, he got me. Got me.
It's like when Moss got Revis with that one-handed touch.
Oh, yeah.
He just knew it. Like, fuck, it's Randy Moss. Whatever.
He said, it's Randy Moss. What do you want? He was like, check. That didn't happen to me often, though.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But Jalen Ramsey will get beat over the top. It does happen. And if there's anybody who's going to beat anybody over the top and a quarterback who does not care if it's Jalen Ramsey one-on-one, I'm going to that guy. Now, the issue is Jalen Ramsey doesn't shadow one player unless it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So he didn't cover Mike Evans until Mike Evans started fucking destroying them. He's actually going Gronk to start the game.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. And then he goes over to Mike Evans, and that's when they started going to fucking Scotty Miller. Just like how we
had more than 8.5.
I knew it, motherfucker. I should have bet everything for him definitely to have more than 8.5 this game.
Every time Scotty Miller had another catch, I'm dying.
I knew it. As the first catch, I was like, well, that was 9 yards on the first catch. Thanks, guys. So, but Brady, when they needed to go downfield and get a quick score, even though Jalen Ramsey is there, fuck, I'm going to my guy. Mm-hmm. And the offense just made a better play than the defense. The throw was perfect, and Mike Evans did everything exactly right in that route in order for him to get the... And then he was over. It was just beautiful because Mike Evans doesn't seem like he's that fast because he's so tall.
Right.
And he's actually not really that fast, but he does that shit all the time.
All the time. Well, also because it's from basketball too. Is that he went to A&M to play ball.
Which is why in the red zone, that's why this guy gets double-digit touchdowns every year.
Body control, he knows how to box you out, like, yeah.
And he can jump, long arms.
Yeah,
all that stuff. I mean, Crab Legs had 1 billion touchdowns with him. You knew Tom was going to eat with him.
Yeah, of course.
So, Bills and Chiefs, dude. What a fucking game, dude. Like, I know I'm a prisoner of the moment right now, but realistically, you can say that was one of the best games that you've seen in a long time. I can say that was the best ending of a game that I've seen in, like, decades, dude.
It's like, look, it's like that USC versus Texas, where it was Vince Young versus Reggie Bush and all that, like the way that played out, and especially the way that ended. Those are my two games right now. I was like, I put that up because when I saw that USC Texas game, I was like, I don't know, this may be the best game I've ever seen in my life.
That's what I used to think. Because, all right, so, you know, the Patriots come back against the Falcons. That's only great for Patriots fans.
Sure.
Right? That wasn't them going at it shot for shot. That rarely happens. It's usually a comeback scenario in the NFL.
Right.
Shot for shot rarely happens. The USC and Texas was the best game that I had ever seen, given the magnitude of what was on the line and all of those future NFL players going at it. And it was just crazy. And they delivered. They absolutely delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this game from the start was just punch. It wasn't no comeback. Literally 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 9, 15, 13, and then overtime. Like, they just kept going at it.
Yeah.
It almost reminded me of the second half of the Panthers and Patriots Super Bowl. Where
I was going to say that's the other one. The second half of Panthers and Patriots was insane. It happened in H-Town. You know what it is? That was Nipplegate. Janet Jackson.
But Jake Delhomme just had an out-of-body experience in that second half.
Musa Muhammad got busy. Deshaun Foster. I was like, yo, are they going to do this?
Yeah, but then, you know, Tom and Adam.
And Tom and Adam. Yeah. But
Tom and Adam. This game, though.
Yeah, it just ended up being crazy. This game, though.
4 touchdowns in a minute and 47 seconds.
And you had fans on both sides. There were people who wanted to see Mahomes win. They wanted to see people who wanted to see Josh Allen win. Like, it was so split down the middle.
This was the first time since Peyton and Brady, when they were both really healthy and going at it.
And you have Peyton fans and you have Brady fans.
Yeah, this is the first time it was a heavyweight fight where they both just went at it. Like, and it was them going at it. Like, they were you said Patrick Mahomes, the first touchdown where he just helicoptered and threw it like this to Pringle. Yeah. You text me, you're just like, oh, he's fucking ridiculous.
Come on, man. He is. I was like, what are we seeing right now? Like, I don't understand. Like, there's times you don't understand what you're seeing when it's happening. And it takes years and years and years, and people are talking about it, and they see it. They're like, I can't believe the things he used to do. I was like, yeah, I saw it when it happened. You just don't even know, but you just recognize it's different.
Well, what happens is, so somebody like him comes along, and then you assume this is like the evolution. Now a bunch of them are going to come along, and it doesn't, and it takes a while for you to realize. He was the only one who could do that shit. Well, of course he's the only one who could do. You see the dumb shit he does?
Yeah.
Like that, he threw it like this, over his own shoulder, and accurately.
Yeah.
It's fucking retarded, dude. It's just, it's so unique. He is a unicorn.
Yeah.
He is a unicorn.
And when you go against that, and I can just, like I saw it in Josh Allen's face. He did everything.
Everything he could.
That you could do. He played a perfect game for himself. He played a perfect game. He did every single thing you could possibly do, and at the end of it, thought he had it twice. Really, you could say just against any other quarterback except that guy, he would have been correct. He'd have been right. And he was like, man, this guy still fucking got me. Like, what am I gonna have to do now?
Yo, the hugs.
He said, we're gonna be doing this. Get used to it. We're gonna be doing this. But he was like, I gotta figure how to fucking do this.
Yo, the hug from Josh Allen to Gabriel Davis after touchdown number 4 when there are only 13 seconds left. They knew it. Like, we're going. We beat them.
We did it.
We did it.
They're congratulating Davis for setting NFL records. He's just like being all humble and shit. Like, yeah, assalamu alaikum. Thanks, guys. You know, like, for real, like, appreciate you.
Meanwhile, behind them, things are happening. the crowd's getting awful loud for some reason. Like, what's going on?
Like acceptance speeches. I want to thank my Lord and Savior. You know what I'm saying? Giving me these hands.
All right, so another mistake is made in this game. Coaching mistake. This is Sean McDermott's fault. Because I don't care if the special teams coordinator is a special teams coordinator. You're the head coach. You come down in this scenario and you say, there are 13 fucking seconds left. The best possible scenario, since they have 2 timeouts for us, is to try to get a couple of these seconds off of the clock on this kick return. And kick it to the goal line and force them to return it. Or squib it. And just roll it down. Even if Tyreek is back there. Giving up 20 yards of field position in that scenario is well worth the 4 to possible 5, 6 seconds. So now you're down to, say, 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Dude, that's one play, and then you might get a Hail Mary.
One play and a Hail Mary. Yeah. With the timeout, you'll get 1, so you'll get down to 1 seconds.
You just have to hope that one play isn't fucking Travis Kelce wide open up the seam for 28 yards.
Yep.
But 2 huge coaching blunders in the end of the game. This is what Bill Belichick always said. You know, sometimes you got to let them beat themselves. And sometimes they do. And Sean McDermott did it twice with that stupid-ass coverage. And then when you kicked it with 13 seconds left, you gave them 13 seconds.
Yeah.
You had to think quickly. What is our best possible chance to win? Keep the ball out of that guy's hands for as many of these 13 seconds as we can.
When it's 13 seconds, if you just scored and you look up and you see 13 seconds and you still have to say, we left him too much time, that's a problem. What?
So there was I can't remember which game it was, but there was a game in the wild card round where it went in, I think it went into OT, or it might have been week 17 that went into OT.
Who's teams?
I can't remember, but the coach said it might have been the fucking Chargers and Raiders or whatever.
And we were like, oh yeah, the Raiders win these games.
But the coach said that I think there was it might have been Dallas. But anyway, the coach said that you can't win a game in 16 seconds. So that accepted overtime instead of trying to win the game and then just go into overtime, and they ended up getting beaten overtime. And they asked him why they didn't try anything in the last 16 seconds. He said you can't win a game in 16 seconds. This guy just did it in 13. 13 fucking seconds. I knew it. When I saw 2 timeouts, I said they're gonna kick it. They're gonna get into. They have that guy, and they also have the entire field is in play with 2 timeouts. These guys are going to be shitting fucking bricks because they're gassed and it's Patrick Mahomes. The only good thing that you can take from this is I hope the Bills look at this. I hope they go and watch Rocky 1. Because Rocky almost had Apollo. He almost had him.
He did.
You know, but there's always that rematch next year. Dude, this is exciting. This is exciting because Tom and them can leave. There is excellent quarterback play that is young. And honestly, listen, I love Tom Brady. Literally. He's the GOAT. I've been saying it 20 fucking years at this point. I actually watched Justin Herbert play. I haven't missed a snap since he's been in the league. I have missed Tom's a couple of Tampa Bay games because I'm just whatever, who fucking cares? Look at that roster. Look who they're playing. They're going to blow this team out. Then when they play Carolina or something, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
I used to not be like that. Didn't matter. I'm always watching every snap of Tom, whatever. Yeah, Justin Herbert, and now, God, I'm going to have to start watching Joe Burrow every fucking play he makes because this guy's just awesome.
Oh, yeah. I was high on him from the jump, too.
I'm an LSU fan, so, I'm high on him because I saw what he did. This guy came in and just took him to the title, which had eluded them for a while with given how good they are.
That talent that they have, yeah.
So to come in and do that, it looks like he's going to do the same thing in Cincinnati, which is hilarious. I love it. I love every second of it. They'll never get an indoor practice facility if they win a Super Bowl without one.
And just it just, and just the way Cincinnati did it, the Browns were really trying and putting effort, massive amounts of effort, into building these rosters. It didn't really seem like Cincinnati was doing much. They were really just kind of letting people go. See you, Andy Dalton. All right, AJ Green, take care. They're just kind of just letting things just go. They pick up T. Higgins, then they pick up Joy Boypan, and then everything changes. Everything changes. And so just, if you're in Ohio and you saw what all the effort Cleveland, the Browns have been doing to putting this, and just kind of things, how just things just fell in place for the Bengals. You know what I mean? 1, 2, but especially when the quarterback fell in place.
Well, I mean, it was.
Now you're just going to see how they build on the defensively. And there's a couple guys we don't know their names right now on defense, but are showing up.
Well,
like,
also
showing up.
Look at this draft coming up with all Georgia's defense and Alabama's defense coming into the draft.
What I'm saying.
Like, just loaded.
That's what they need to focus. Offensive line, and then having some more studs on that defense.
Well, I mean, it was the perfect Disney scenario. You get the Ohio kid who actually wanted to play in Cincinnati and bring them from the shadows. This is what he wanted to do. I don't think they anticipated it happening this early. I didn't think it was going to happen this fast. This just shows you that he is that guy.
Yeah.
He's just that guy. He's always got a different pair of cool sunglasses on after the game. He's got that little 1-2 pieces of hair that loop and fall down. Like,
with Superman style.
Dude, he's just as cool as they get, and he's such a good leader too. For you to take 9 sacks and never say anything about it, not even negatively, just don't even mention it. He said, "Boy, that one was really tough." That was it.
Yeah,
that was it. He's not going to throw any of his linemen under the bus. They already suck. What are you going to make them unsure of themselves also?
He's not going to bash baby seals down by the seashore.
You can't, because they played terrible. Now, Tennessee's defense is pretty good, and Vrabel knew this is the weak link in their team. Let's get after them. They kept pressuring the same guy the entire game.
Yep.
The one dude from Tennessee had 3 sacks in the first half. The outside linebacker, he just was abusing their tackle, whoever that was, Simmons or whatever. Dude,
Simmons. Yeah.
He was destroying that game. But Joey Boyband doesn't get up and yell at the referee and point at his bloody lip.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, man, first sportsmanlike conduct in his career. Hilarious, because his lip was bleeding, and it was just
really
like
was.
You didn't see the top of his helmet hit me in my mouth. Like, there's evidence.
Right.
Sean Hockley said that Tom Brady approached him in an aggressive manner and insulted him, so he had to throw the flag.
You hurt his feelings?
Yeah, get off your high horse, referee. It's the playoffs. This guy's bleeding from his...
You come from... You're Ed Hockley's son. Ed Hockley just would have flexed and kept on moving.
And he said, "Shut up, Tom," and kept it moving.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, actually, Ed Hockley would have wiped the blood off and tasted it.
Probably.
But, I mean, realistically, it would be like Michael Jordan driving down the lane, getting smacked in the mouth, literally bleeding and not getting a call.
Not getting that call, I know.
Because it's just like, Tom gets those calls. So I saw a clip of Mike complaining to something about a referee, and the ref says to him, "Mike, I didn't see it, but if you say so, I'll believe you." And he said, "That's what really happened," and then he blew his fucking whistle.
Wow.
And he walked over and he told him again, "Yo, Mike, I believe you, man. I believe you." And it was just like, damn, not only does guy really wants an autograph after this game, you could tell, like,
oh yeah,
it was just like,
trying to curry favor.
Yeah, Tom Brady is usually that guy too. Tom Brady is just like, he usually gets that. So I was a little bit surprised when that didn't happen. But I'm also seeing the NFL might be like, "Yo, Tom, get the fuck out of here. We got all these young guys we want to focus on. Get out of here."
Yeah.
Go do your thing. You're married to Giselle. You've got $1 billion, 7 Super Bowl titles. He's already, interesting thing, he's already been heavy on promoting his TB12 brand and his fitness line and his merchandise line and shit.
Okay.
This is retirement stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, this is what your focus is on. Usually you're already back at the facility working out. You're Tom Brady, like watching film. Where do we go wrong? How can we fix this? So, it's been fun, Tom. But even as the world's biggest Tom Brady fan, it's time to move on, dude. There's nothing left to prove. There's literally nothing. There's nothing, literally nothing you can do except go undefeated. And I think you know that is impossible. You had the shot.
Yep.
You had the shot. But they're going to keep extending the NFL season, which is going to make going undefeated even more impossible. 17 games now, and then to 18 eventually. It's talking 18 games, and then say you're a wild card team and you got 4 playoffs. That's 22 football games in 1 year. You're done at the end of the year. Just done.
Yeah.
And then you would have to think about getting ready for the next season after a season like that.
They do that, they're going to have to expand the rosters.
They have to expand the rosters. They're going to have to get rid of another preseason game. They have to. You know, but so we now got Rams and Niners. Niners have beat the Rams twice. This is parallel in Tampa Bay last year because the Saints beat Tampa twice, and then they got to the playoffs and got smacked. The Rams are just, everyone's ascending at the exact moment.
Yep.
Odell's back to being Odell, which when he's Odell, he's literally unstoppable.
He's having fun. Yeah, that's a bad sign for the defense.
Yeah, so now you've got 2 number ones on your team because Cooper Kupp is the number one, and now Odell's acting like a number one again.
Yeah.
And then Higbee has come on strong at the end of the year.
Higbee had a nice catch down the middle.
And then you've got Cam Akers is back and healthy.
Don't forget Van Jefferson. He'll rip it right down the seam.
So that's that fourth receiver who will all of a sudden have a 70-yard touchdown out of nowhere because it's just like you forgot about him because there's too much going on. There's too much going on.
Darrell Henderson Jr. is coming back or is back by now.
So they're all healthy.
Hard.
Yeah, they're all healthy right now. The defense is all healthy. Von Miller is just back to being Von Miller. He's fully integrated in. Aaron Donald's the best football player in football.
Basically.
He's the most dominant single player in football. Like you have to double and triple team him, and he still dominates everybody.
Yes.
It's incredible. It's fun when you're watching somebody that you know is just like one of the all-time greats at their position. And they're in their prime, so you get to watch it. You're just like, just watch it. Just watch it, because there's not going to be another one of him. Even J.J. Watt has, because of injuries and whatnot, literally fell off and can't stay healthy.
Right.
This guy's doing what J.J. Watt used to, but kind of even better.
Yeah.
It's kind of even better. There's 7 straight first-team All-Pros. That's Patrick Willis.
Yeah.
That's like that type of shit.
Abbreviated career, I know.
Yeah, but he had 9 first-team All-Pros. Like, forget about it.
He came in the league, All-Pro.
Until he left All-Pro, like.
Until he left. Yep.
I mean, if you're Patrick Willis and you're...
See that with Chase?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Potentially see that?
Yeah.
You potentially see that with Micah Parsons?
Burrow, you see it when a full healthy season, what he's capable of.
Deebo Samuel, you see it with a full healthy season, what he's capable of.
Justin Herbert steps in and is just jaw-dropping from snap one. So you see it. It's like when Gronk came into the league. From the first game, you were like, oh, wait a minute. I mean, I'm a Pats fan, and even I was just like, who the fuck is this guy? Who is this monster? He's bigger than everyone.
Because I knew about Hernandez, and I was like, Hernandez is going to get busy. And I was like, who's this big doofy caveman?
That's what dude, I'm a Pat. All of us were like, that's one of those Belichick picks where we're all just like, well, we just trust the hoodie. Even though we already drafted a tight end, we're going to get another one who has injury issues and sat out almost all of last year. This is interesting. Well, they knew. They knew. Because from day one, it was literally like, all right, Troy Polamalu, Same thing. Oh, he's better than everyone. Ed Reed, instantly better than everybody on the football field. You know, you don't get too many of them, but Aaron Donald he's just literally perfectly built to do what he does because he's short and he's so powerful. He has so much leverage underneath of these big giant linemen.
Mm-hmm.
And they're so scared of him.
I was about to say everybody's afraid of him.
They know. So he's reaching like LT levels of mysticism where it's like you're going to be first team.
They don't like talk shit to him. They just they only speak respectfully.
Good play, Aaron. Good play, boss.
Yeah.
Help him up and shit. Like, oh, don't piss him off. Please don't piss him off. You don't have to block him. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
You know, he literally, like, Khalil Mack looked like he was on that arc.
He's ascending. Yeah.
But injuries are DC.
Injuries are just crushing him right now.
See, that's the thing about, you know, that's so impressive about Tom.
Mm-hmm.
One injury. Literally one. That knee injury. Bernard fucking Pollard.
Yeah.
We'll never forget you, you son of a bitch. You ruined the season. We had to watch Matt Castle play for a year, you dickhead. With Randy Moss.
Castle loved him.
You wasted one of...
Castle sends him a Christmas card every season.
See, Kerry, the reason I'll never forgive him is because you wasted one of our Randy Moss years with Matt fucking Castle.
Still made the playoffs, but I know it wasn't with Tom. Could have been different.
Yeah, look what they did the next year. Let's go. Let's win fucking 17 games or 18 games. And not the one that mattered. Anyway, Rams and Niners. Rams. I'm going with the Rams. I know the Niners keep winning football games, and this is like they look like a Giants team that just goes on a run.
Yeah. Right.
Or a
like I said, they remind me of the 07 Giants.
Or like the Ravens whenever they had Flacco and go on a run because their defense is playing really well.
Yeah. And it's so tough because this is a divisional rivalry. So these games can go either way. Like Rams makes sense to say. Makes sense. But that divisional rivalry shit always makes it a toss-up.
So here's the real question on this one.
Know each other so much.
You know how hard it is to beat the same team in football 3 times in one season.
So now we're talking about McVay and Shanahan, who know each other very well.
So do you think it would be harder to beat a team 3 times in 1 year, or if you've lost to them 2 times already to be like, fuck, we can't lose 3 times?
Well, I'll give you, that's why I said 07 Giants. Dallas had beaten the G's twice that year. I had a standing bet with someone out in Texas, and I told him, if you beat the Giants this 3rd time, I will fly to Houston and put $100 in your hand and then fly back home. That's how much confidence I have that you will not beat us 3 times in a year. And we saw what happened. They could have, but they didn't. Because things happen in weird ways in those games.
Tampa and New Orleans last year was the exact same scenario. It's hard enough to beat them twice in the same year. Because NFL football especially. Because in college and high school, you get matches like... You get, like, number 1 playing, like, you know, Temple or something. It's just like, what is this? They're going to win by 90, and they do.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL is truly... Even Jacksonville can sneak up and beat the Colts, who need weeks...
They needed to win.
Needed to win to get into the playoffs, and Jacksonville beats them in a stunner. Like, it's the NFL.
And then also look at how the Rams won their playoff game versus how... the Rams survived their playoff game versus how the San Francisco won their playoff game.
See, I look at it like San Francisco had to have everything go the way that it did in order for them to like eke one out.
But they were causing turnovers. They were doing everything. Like
that's what I'm saying.
It's to make it shit happen. Whereas the Rams played bad in the second half. Matthew Stafford played bad, turning the rock over. Sam Akers fumbling
twice.
Like, they stumbled to the finish line.
Yeah, so I will give them credit because, you know, they block a fucking punt for a touchdown. The offense could not score. The offense didn't score.
Right.
And that's one of those games where it's just like, it reminds me of the Ravens.
Yep. Where the other phases have to take over.
And the defense is getting, Ed Reed's going to take one to the house because he'll probably block a kick too because he's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to beat you that way. This is one of those games.
When you have a team like that who believe it doesn't even matter. Like all three phases of the game, we can make some shit happen. Like it doesn't matter.
So
it's a different mentality.
If San Francisco wins and they go to the Super Bowl
versus KC again, and we have another matchup like that.
No, but
I don't want that to be a rivalry like KC, San Francisco, Jimmy G versus.
No, but what I'm asking you is, so do they keep Jimmy G for another year? Because do you reward him?
That would. I mean, you have Trey Lance, right? But how much are they paying Jimmy G? Like, would they have to re-up him?
It's like $21 million. It's not that much.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You'd have to. If he wins the Super Bowl, you have to. But if they don't win the Super Bowl, they'll be like, nah, you didn't win it. You've lost two of them now.
But it's hard. It's hard to say I've gone to 2 Super Bowls with this quarterback and I'm just going to let him walk. Regardless, he's not putting up all these crazy numbers, but they're finding ways to win. So versus Trey Lance, who is still unproven.
This is very true. We both know he's very unproven. You just know they already said it. Like, Jimmy G's gone after this year. I don't think they even expected them, because this is when they had a losing record. They openly announced, like, yeah, we're moving on from him, blah, blah, blah. And then they just went on this run. Let's win one for Jimmy. It's funny because everyone says he's Italian. He's not Italian. He's Greek. But, man, I just watched this movie last year with the Bucks. The Rams, I said it in week one. I looked dead in this camera. I said the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. After watching what happened in week one, I was like, if they can do this, if Matthew Stafford plays like this with this team, who can actually beat them? Well, the Chiefs are getting hot at the right time too, also.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
they can actually compete with them, but they're going to go to the Super Bowl. I said it after week one. I also said they were going to go undefeated, but that was just me being funny because as a Pats fan, I will always say that about NFL teams that are good. Yeah, they're going to go undefeated because it's impossible.
Yeah.
I've seen the best team that you could possibly assemble and then still not go undefeated. It's impossible. You just need one off game, and that's it. You're done.
That's it.
And one throw by a fucking death row chain wearing...
Yay.
I love this guy now. I love this guy that he doesn't play for the Giants anymore.
That one was hilarious. We have Bengals and
Bengals and Chiefs. No, I want the Bengals to win.
I know.
They're so much fun. Just imagine the cigar that Joey Boy Band is going to smoke if they pull this Super Bowl out.
I mean, he's doing his best. Joey Cool, you know what I'm saying? Joe Namath right now out in Cincinnati. It's hilarious to watch. But it's hard to root against them.
It's fun. I would love it if Peter wouldn't say anything about it and he would wear a fur. Just go full Joe Namath.
Full Joe Namath. That shit would be funny.
I want the Bengals to win, and it's like, it's fun, and we all want them to win because they're like the startup. We all love the new team, right? Nobody except the fan base of a team likes to see that team just continuously winning over and over and over again. I get it. I watched it happen for 20 years. It gets old.
You need like a real rival.
Yeah, it's
a friend.
Yeah, Magic and Bird set the standard.
Yeah.
Literally set the standard. For you need.
You have to overcome odds.
Yeah.
Like Jordan couldn't beat them until he could. Like he couldn't beat the Pistons until he could. Pistons needed to beat the Celtics. Then they needed to figure out how to beat the Lakers. Then they did. Then it was
shit.
Like always someone else.
Shit like that don't happen no more.
Right.
But the way that the Chiefs are playing at this moment, they have just caught a heater.
Yeah.
Like a real one.
But remember what I said earlier. When Patrick Mahomes, when they finally get him to a place where he reduces the field himself, check downs, take what they're giving you. matriculate down the field, methodical.
Yeah.
Those big plays will come, and he's been doing that. And since he's been doing that, and then also a huge pickup for them, Jerick McKinnon.
Yeah.
Jerick McKinnon has been balling for them. So now you can really lean into that. Clyde Edwards-Hilaire's looking healthy. You're not even seeing Darrell Williams anymore, and they cut Josh Gordon, but they're going to sign him to the practice squad. So they figured it out. You see better play from Pringle. They're using McCole Hardman in ways they weren't using him before. So now it's like the market. It is self-corrected. I thought you had it figured out, but now it's self-corrected.
It is self-corrected, and what is funny is they're still getting 60 and 70-yard touchdowns.
Right.
It's just he's not throwing it 70 yards. He's throwing it 7.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Tyreek Hill. Just get the ball in his hands. Even when he's corralled with like 4 players, it's exciting because he never stops hopping, and he's so close to the ground.
And then he's just like, okay, I go down now.
Yeah, all right, whatever. You got me this time. It's just like even when he's down, you don't get to tackle him. Like you never get a shot on him ever. And even if you do, for him being so fast, that's a thick fucking dude for being that fucking fast. So his speed was on playoff display on that crossing route that he just...
Oh, yeah. Then he was like, zoom, and then just like throwing the peace sign. That's it. I mean, I'm so glad they didn't throw like a unsportsmanlike. That would have been stupid.
They couldn't have in that scenario. So, I mean, is he the fastest player on grass that we've ever seen with the ball in their hand? Because it's harder to run, on grass with the ball in your hand. You're not it's different.
I would put very few names up there.
Dion, of course.
Yeah, Dion, Bo Jackson, perhaps. Chris, the running back.
Chris Henry when
No, not Chris Henry, the running back. Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson.
Yeah, that 2-year run that he had was shot out of a cannon fast.
Jesus Christ, so fast. And then I'd have anyone else they've even claimed to be that fast have been busts, like John Ross. What has he really done? It's hard to gauge. Ruggs, he's not even.
Yeah, he's just so much faster than everyone else. It's kind of like.
And it's not just his speed, his quickness is so damn quick.
That's what I said. He's always just like whatever. I'm done. He makes
10 moves, like making decisions and like
he makes.
He's already.
Dude, he makes 7 moves without going anywhere. He's just waiting for somebody to bite one direction.
Yeah, he would just bite one. He said if he sees you bite one move, bang, then that's going to inform what he's going to do next.
So, being a short person, but also being built in the same way where my legs are also short.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I got to go play college football. That's how I ran a 4.3 because your first couple steps are already at full speed.
Yeah.
And you see it with him. It doesn't take, like Randy Moss, taller players, it takes them a couple to get into it.
Oh, it would take me a couple. I got down to the speed, but I'm also 6'3".
Yeah.
So my stride wouldn't pick up, and then
this guy is instantaneously fast. And then he also has breakaway speed, which from like 60 to 100 yards, you're still not catching him.
I know.
If you run a 4.3 and you're Megatron or DK Metcalf, Starscream, you're going to catch Buda Baker on a 100-yard sprint.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Megatron, 4.27.
Yeah, just
5.
Just not fair at all. So, the only time I've ever in my entire career on any level I didn't get walked down because it was a pick return and I had to weave through traffic and whatnot. But the only time anyone ever got me on my ankles from behind was somebody as tall as you and as fast as me. Mm-hmm. And I broke through the line, and it was a 60-some yard return, and I made it to the last 10 yards and got clipped. I was just like, see, he just closed the gap with that long-ass stride.
I did the same to this other cat. We were playing this team in Long Island, and they were just all week just talking about his 4.3 speed. And I was like, whatever. I know this dude ain't faster than me. I know that. So I was like, all right, we'll see. he had a breakaway on the other side. I was covering this big tight end, and so then I took off. I took a poor angle, but I walked him down to the 3. He turned. He was like, "Oh shit!" And then he dove. And like as soon as I was diving, I would have him. But his momentum was already going forward, so he dove and he got in. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how many yards I did it. I mean, 'cause I was on the way opposite side, and then had to take off to try to get him. Yeah.
See,
Putting down like that is so fun.
the one that I got clipped on, I remember seeing Dre out of my peripheral when I cut and went this way. So when I cut short legs, I created a gap of a few yards, and then he just chewed that up so quick. And I was just like, it's one of those things. I had to look and see. I knew it was you. Yeah, I knew it was fucking you. You're the only one who could have done that. Nobody's doing that with Tyreek Hill. He's too fast. He also has the track speed of being able to run a full 100 yards at that speed. Like he's not slowing down.
Right.
You know, even DK Metcalf, he's not catching him. He's too fucking fast.
Yeah.
He's so fast. It's like, it's not fair. It's not fair because he gets so much leverage because when he runs wide. He gets so low to the ground.
Yeah, his low center of gravity, so he's already going to be hard to tackle regardless.
There's none of the I have to get up into a stride. He just, I'm out. I'm gone.
And also, I don't know if you've ever seen his vert.
Yeah.
His vertical is crazy.
Yeah, he can dunk. I've watched videos.
He can moss you
Yeah.
at 5 foot. They got him listed at like 5, 9?
9, I think.
I'm 9.
He's probably more like 5'7".
Yeah. That dude's small.
I've just never seen somebody's legs move so fast.
Yeah.
They
He's
move.
float.
Yeah, they
say
move
he's
so
float.
fast.
Like your feet are barely touching the ground.
It's impressive. I don't know who Cincinnati has to counter what the Chiefs can do. Besides their own offense just answering the call.
Right. I mean, that, like I said, that safety, John Bates, number 30. He's a player to watch.
Yeah, he's going to have to. He's going to have to pick his poison, though. Patrick Mahomes has played enough football to, all right, whoever the safety's doubling, I got single on the other one, so let me go to the other guy. And like you said, they also have.
The other defensive end going to be back for the Bengals.
That's another thing. I don't know if he's going to be back. It's just the Chiefs. Not only did they catch a heater, dude. After the way they just won, their confidence, not only in Patrick Mahomes, but in themselves, has to be through the fucking roof right now.
Right, and especially facing a defense that you would have to argue is better than Cincinnati. The Bills' defense is one of the best.
It is. Cincinnati did beat the Chiefs earlier this year, but it was in Cincy. And the Chiefs were not playing this well. The Chiefs were were not playing like this yet. So, all signs point to the Chiefs again in the Super Bowl. They got a guy on their sideline that can literally make anything happen. We saw what it takes to beat him in a playoff game, and Cincinnati does not have the defense that Tampa had last year. Nobody does.
And KC has a better line. Not decimated. Yeah.
So this would be impressive if Kansas City did what New England did once. Because if you win a Super Bowl and then you go to another one and you lose that one, usually your team falls apart. The Super Bowl loss, you fall apart, especially after, like Seattle won, lost the next one, and then never sniffed it again, right? Yeah. So New England was the one to lose a Super Bowl and then make it back to the next Super Bowl and then win it.
Get it.
Kansas City won, lost, they can win another one, dude. They're just keep going to. I hate to see it because I'm not a Kansas City fan. Now I know what New England fans felt like all this time. Like, fuck, nobody has a chance. This sucks. This sucks because if he plays like that, you can't beat him. We just saw, like you said, Josh Allen pitched a perfect game, and in extra innings on the first pitch, somebody hit a home run and walked off.
Yeah.
And it was just like, well,
yeah.
Everyone's going to forget about the perfect 9 innings that you played, which should have ended.
Yeah.
But the closer came in and gave up a home run with 2 outs. And now look where we're at. Ridiculous, dude. That was the most ridiculous ending. I mean, we've seen so many Hail Marys and the Mad Hatter in LSU. Every single game came down to the last play somehow, and they pulled them all out.
Right.
You know, you've seen the Giants win the most improbable Super Bowl titles ever.
Seriously.
And I've seen Tom Brady win.
I think we've gone into every Super Bowl as the underdog.
Yeah. I've seen
4 of them. I think we've gone in as underdog every single time.
Yep, you have. You know, I've seen the Patriots put together something that no one will ever see in sports again, in professional sports, a 20-year dynasty. This isn't the 60s.
Right.
Bill Russell isn't playing.
Right.
Like, that's in modern day NFL.
With all the free agency. Yeah.
You did what? You went to 9 Super Bowls in 19 years? Jesus fucking, that's retarded. That's so stupid. There's franchises that haven't been to as many Super Bowls as Tom Brady has lost.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There's franchises that haven't been to any.
There's like 8 that haven't been to any.
Yeah, Texans. Nah.
Jacksonville, Carolina.
Carolina been.
Yeah, you're right. They did. Jacksonville, the Texans. I remember seeing this list.
Yeah.
Cleveland, the new iteration of Cleveland.
Oh, the new iteration, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the Jets won one in the '60s.
Yeah, 60.
Minnesota's never won one.
Yay! No, Minnesota's never won one.
They went to 4 though. Or did they go to 5 and lose?
They went to 4.
4 and lost, yes, I
were
thought.
The Purple People Eaters.
Yeah, there's a lot of franchises that haven't even won one, so to have lost 3 and you still have 7.
Yeah.
There's nothing else you can do. I'm thinking about this because it's the end of my, of Thanos. Like he's calling it. Yeah, dude, I've been able to, what I predicted literally like 17 years ago, and everyone said that I was fucking insane. And I wasn't fanning out. I just saw it. This is the greatest quarterback that I've ever seen play. He's not the best. This is the greatest. There's a difference. Playing quarterback means a whole lot more than your arm talent. And he exudes everything that's off the charts. And then people always slept on his arm talent anyway. They acted like he didn't have elite level arm talent. Are you fucking serious?
It's even got better as he got older.
Not only has he got it better, he's gotten a roster where he actually can throw it down the field. They worked little tiny white dudes that weren't fast and tight ends all the way down the field and killed you.
Yeah.
You saw he got Randy Moss for like 3 seasons, and you saw what they did.
Oh, set records.
Go get that shit, dude. He goes to Tampa, leading the league in passing at 44 years old. So, arm talent's always been there. Everything else was off the charts. I'm seeing the same thing, dude. There's another quarterback starts with a B. Dude, it's I'm not gonna say he's the greatest quarterback I've ever seen, but boy, this is awesome to watch. I hope they win. I hope they fucking win. I don't even like Cincinnati. I don't like the Bengals at all. I hate their uniforms. I think they need to change for a long time.
I root for them because of him. I know. I feel myself rooting for him. I'm like, man, yeah, they make the game fun to watch, and I also like underdogs too.
Well,
and it's just like
so
that attitude. Like, get used to this. Like, we coming. Like,
so this is all everything that Brady was in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
They were always underdogs to the Rams. You'll never beat the Greatest Show on Turf.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, Greatest Show on Turf couldn't go back to back, and they fell off and never sniffed it again.
Oh, they sure did.
So there's no way you're going to beat them, and then you beat them. You become America's team. Golly shucks, Tom Brady. We won. You remember, everyone knows that image.
Mm-hmm.
He was like America's sweetheart, the frat boy who would chug a beer, blah, blah, blah. And then once you just keep winning, then they just like, yo, we're tired of you. Can somebody else win? It's going to happen to Joey Boy, man.
Yeah.
So you see, like, Aaron,
Especially with his swag.
So you see,
start people rubbing people the wrong way.
Oh yeah, especially if you're not a Cincinnati fan. He wins like 3 Super Bowls. Everyone's gonna hate him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hate him. So you look like Aaron Rodgers. His career might end with him only winning 1 Super Bowl.
Looks like it.
That's incredible. All that talent.
Yeah.
There's something missing in what Aaron Rodgers is doing at playing quarterback that isn't Tom Brady, Joe Burrow, even Drew Brees' leadership. As corny as it was, all that shit, it still works. It's leadership, accountability, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's like Justin Herbert. It's all the talent on the planet. I just don't see that leadership alpha. Get on my back, let's go.
Right.
He's more looking at it like, you see this arm, dude? We can do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got this.
Yeah.
You know, it's different. It's so different.
He's more lead by example, whereas, Joey's letting you know.
Yeah. Same thing with
Let's go.
Aaron Rodgers. Always said he wasn't very vocal. He would just go out there and play at an excellent level and, lead by one of those guys. I want to lead by example, lead by example. Well, when you're that supremely talented, you can.
Yeah.
When you're not as the most talented, you got to do with Joe or Tom Brady, even Eli.
Yeah.
Even Eli's leadership in big moments, it's legendary. It's like Joe Montana.
And they just believed in him. They were just like, "Oh, we got it."
Yeah, this guy's
They
he's
just saw something different. They were like, "You just can't shake this guy. You can't hurt him. You can't shake him. He keeps showing up, no matter what."
That's Joe Montana in the Niners' first Super Bowl, looking over and looking in the huddle and saying, "That's John Candy over there," and then snapping his helmet up and going and driving him down the field and winning. Because they all said if the quarterback is that cool right now, what am I fucking worried about? We got this. Let's go.
And then you look at Mahomes, who's a combination of supreme ability and also leadership. And I think he's like learning how to become an even better leader.
He is.
Like he needed to get humbled. He needed to take these L's and get beat up a bit. And I think that's really helping his leadership out.
It is. I don't like to see it, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
I'm a Pats fan. I don't want to see it. I know all things are going to go through Kansas City, literally until he's done.
Yeah.
I went through 20 years of it.
They locked him up.
Here's $500 million. Please stay here.
You ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. Right.
I mean, the worst thing about Patrick Mahomes is his wife and his brother. His brother constantly does like TikTok videos on the sideline.
Oh my God. See, I don't watch any of that stuff.
No, I don't either. This is only coming up through the Pat McAfee show because when they played the Redskins and they had the Sean Taylor jersey retirement, Jackson Mahomes did a TikTok dance on top of the logo and the Sean Taylor number 2021 that was on the field for his jersey retirement. You know, all the TikTok shit, filming himself. So, and you got to remember, Washington actually beat them. So it became a thing that every time his brother showed up, they would lose because his brother's on the sideline doing dumb shit. And I guess his wife is all in on the TikTok shit and being famous too. Like, she's all in on it. So they got $500 million too, is how they're looking at it.
Yeah.
That's like the worst thing about this guy is like the people around him. Like, Other than that, dude, he's a great leader. He's
gonna have a barbecue sauce. He's in Kansas City.
Dude, he's
gonna have rib joints.
His ability to throw the ball is so unique. It's so different. It's even different than what Aaron Rodgers could do, because what Aaron Rodgers does, nobody else can do.
Right.
Though nobody else can make the ball move. Aaron Rodgers is like John Smoltz at the end of his career, an old pitcher that just makes it move and strikes everyone out. His ball placement is retarded. Aaron Rodgers isn't running, spinning, not anymore. Spinning and then throwing the ball without looking at it over his left shoulder like it's salt, and he's trying to get rid of his bad luck.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers at no point in his career ever made a full horizontal dive and throw accurately that the receiver just dropped. Because
and now you're looking at the receiver like, you idiot.
Well,
how do you not catch that?
if I'm the receiver in my post-game interview and they ask me how I didn't catch that pass, I'd be like, "Did you see what he did?" Even I was shocked when he threw it.
I was a fan at that point.
Like, I got caught up in the moment. How could you not? I didn't think he was going to throw it to me. He's horizontal. No one's ever made that throw before. You don't practice that.
Nah.
The only time you ever practice that is if you dive into the pool throwing it out. But you always dive into the pool catching the football. So no one ever makes that throw. It was total ad lib, which means only he can do that. As good as Justin Herbert is, he's not doing that shit. And so with Justin Herbert's arm, watching Josh Allen play and those throws that he was making, because they were absolute darts. Yeah. Him and Herbert have the same arm. Herbert delivers it the exact same way. They probably use the same, because Josh Allen in the offseason got hooked up to a bunch of like sensors and shit, and it let him know that his hips were firing at like a millisecond too quick, and that's why he was inaccurate and blah, blah, blah. So he did all this analytical things and all these like computer tech and all the shit to fix his mechanics.
Yeah.
I feel like Justin Herbert's like Ivan Drago. He's been built like that from the beginning.
Yeah, he's been doing that from,
He's one of those guys. He's literally been doing that from the beginning because, dude, it's the exact same arm motion and throw and release trajectory. I was just like, oh, I've seen that before. That's Justin Herbert's ball because, dude, when you don't see any arc to a ball at all that's more than 25 yards downfield in an NFL game, which means he doesn't really have full time to, like, this isn't a carnival game. He's not going to fully step into it. There's humans trying to kill him around him.
Yeah.
He's sliding and makes that it got there so quick that Gabriel Davis had to fall to catch it.
He knocked him down. Yeah.
And I've been in those scenarios. You fall because you're like, oh shit! If I would have stayed there, I didn't have the timing was off. It would have hit my hands and off.
Yeah, but it'd hit you right in the face mask.
So you have to go back, and he did. He was wide open. There was no reason to fall. No, the ball got in there so quick. He had to, or he would. See, you get it. You get it.
Yeah.
As soon as he fell, I was.
Also, that move he put on the corner was nasty. I was like, oh my god. Yeah, he was on fire.
I mean, that was a crossover in
Yeah.
football. He crossed him because he broke his ankle for real. He was butt naked open.
Oh yeah.
Josh Allen, hilarious. This is why I like this kid. That Gabriel Davis was open by at least 5 yards in any direction in an NFL playoff game, which is impossible.
Right.
He didn't try to ease that ball to him at all. He tried to throw it through him.
Yeah. Because he was like, I don't want there to be any chance at all. Anybody tips it, picks it, nothing.
He almost threw it too hard. Almost. It was almost. Shout out to Gabriel Davis, who had the game of his life.
He did. Like, he'll never have another game like that ever again in his entire career.
It's impossible. He set the bar at something that no one has ever done in NFL football before.
And they prefaced it by saying, not even Jerry Rice has done it. Not even the best to ever play the position has ever done this.
Not even Randy Moss in his nobody can stop me scoring touchdowns at all never did that.
Right. Right.
You know, that's like Gabriel Davis, congratulations, but you'll never be able to live up to this. You are now the what was the
he's a trivia question now.
Yeah, what was the dude from the Raiders? Something Brown. I know, from the Cowboys. That Neil O'Donnell threw.
Oh, Larry Brown.
Yeah, he's Larry Brown now.
Yeah.
Larry Brown was never going to have two picks, one for a pick six and the other one almost pick six in a game of that magnitude.
In a Super Bowl.
You're Larry Brown. No one's ever heard of you before.
Right.
Shout out to him for getting a giant contract from the Raiders right after that.
Sure did. And then flaming right out.
He better gave Neil O'Donnell his agent fee for that contract because his agent didn't do shit. Neil O'Donnell got him that deal.
Yeah.
So who you got going to the Super Bowl? Who you got? Who you got versus who do you want to see?
You know, it's an ill couple scenarios. Because if you have Cincinnati 49ers, that's a rematch from 1989. That's crazy. If you do Kansas City 49ers, then obviously that's a rematch. But it's like the
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Either. I don't want them to think that Jimmy G versus Pat Mahomes is a thing.
It's not.
It's not a thing. So I don't like that at all. KC and the Rams, or even the Bengals and the Rams, man, those are some interesting matchups.
See, my brain and my heart both say the Rams.
Right. I would rather see the Rams.
But we all know this is the type of team that makes it because nobody wants them to. I get it. I just think that the Rams and Chiefs are both in the exact same trajectory. They're both flying right now, and that's hard to beat with momentum and health.
Right.
It just so happens that there's teams that they're playing that just beat teams for no fucking reason. They just win games. One of them because their coaching staff and the execution from everyone, and then the other one because they got a guy.
Yeah.
They got a guy that will bail them out of every single scenario. 9 sacks in a playoff game. I got this. Let's go. We're going to win this. What? 9 sacks? That's more than 2 per quarter. That's a drive killer twice per quarter in a playoff game with an extra one, and you still won. Are you fucking serious?
And people sleep on the defensive coordinator for the 49ers, DeMeco Ryans, who used to be an all-pro linebacker for the Houston Texans. It just used to get hurt a lot. It was DeMeco Ryans, and it was Brian Cushing. Cushing got a lot of the headlines.
DeMeco Ryans was the numbers guy, though. He led the league numbers.
League in tackles all the time. This dude knows how to. He makes excellent defensive calls for the 49ers, and you have an all-pro in Warner, and then you got another one. I mean, you just got everybody's like that defense is clicking right now, and the Bosa coming back from a possible concussion, that was huge for them. That's what I'm saying. And then you got this guy Debo, who's just.
So I think the NFC game all hinges down to exactly what the Bucs and Rams hinge down to. When it comes down to Matthew Stafford time, does he Detroit Lion Matthew Stafford, or does he do what we expect him to do when he has an actual team around him, which is what he just did against the Bucs?
If Jimmy G plays mistake-free ball and Matthew Stafford just makes one, like Stafford, Akers, if they get into this shit, 49ers going to be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, once again, it all comes down to Matt Stafford, and so will the Super Bowl. So if they continue to win, obviously he'll be the MVP of the Super Bowl and things like that, and he'll finally be anointed as what everyone thought he was supposed to be as a number 1 overall pick coming out of Georgia. But when you go to Detroit, that's where careers go to die.
Yes. Just ask Herman Moore, Barry Sanders, Megatron. Plenty of people you could ask.
All those draft picks who went there and it never panned out, and you think it was the player.
Right.
Might have been Detroit. Roy Williams, the receiver.
Roy Williams, yeah, the receiver.
Charles Rodgers.
Oh.
So many of them, dude. So many players that went there, and then they were nothing after they left there because that team ate them up.
Javid Best. Well, I'm just happy Javid Best remained alive. I've never seen the same player, his helmet explode off his head. Just once was good enough, but like 2 to 3 times in his career.
So, yeah, man, I think it's Rams and Chiefs. I would prefer to see the Bengals.
Bengals, Chiefs?
No.
Bengals,
No, but if the Bengals get in there, I want them to win. I want them to beat San Francisco because
Right.
I want to see the fallout from Jimmy G not making it in the offseason mayhem.
Right. If the Bengals get in, especially against San Francisco, I'm Bengals all the way.
But I just feel, I'm telling you, this literally, we just saw it happen in so many parallels. Not only did the Bucs do everything that the Rams are doing roster-wise and performance-wise from last year, they're also going to be hosting a Super Bowl if they make it there.
I know. Crazy.
So, funny thing that the Rams are doing. I don't know if they're still doing it, but they had put it like an embargo on out of non-LA residents buying tickets to this playoff game against San Francisco because they didn't want San Francisco's fans coming down and making the stadium their home.
It's the battle for Cali, y'all. Come on now. You're not going to have San Francisco fans there.
Because they know...
Really, Santa Clara.
Well, because they know that LA really still hasn't established, like, either of the football teams. Yeah. So, like, that's a stadium that away teams come in and their fans dominate the home teams. So they don't want that happening because it's only 6 hours. All of San Francisco is going to travel for this game if they can. It's nothing to get there. And if you're not driving, if it's a flight, get out of here. It's like an hour or something.
Yeah.
Actually less than that. It takes me 9 hours to drive to Pittsburgh, and it's an hour and 40-minute flight. So, like an hour. Bam, there.
Yeah.
So since it's in LA, they get to host the AFC Championship game and the Super Bowl back-to-back. Good for them. In a brand new multi-billion-dollar stadium. Who could have ever saw this happening?
Wow, amazing how that worked out.
Oh my God, I fucking hate professional sports, dude. It's all WWE. All of it is. Just pick your favorite characters and run with it. I picked Tom Brady a long time ago. Find your own Stone Cold Steve Austin. So, yeah, dude, if the Bengals get in, I wanted the Bills to get into the Super Bowl because
I know you did.
It just, yeah, it just looked like, all right, you've made that leap forward. This is like this.
And the Josh Allen train has really been picking up steam.
Well, everyone watched that game and was just like, wait a minute, this is what this guy's been doing? Well, no, he's been doing that this year, and he was kind of good last year.
Yes.
And the year before that, he was, and the year before that, he was not good at all. He just continually gets better, and we've seen it because we watched it all. And I've watched it as a Pats fan and been like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I see Tom be like, well, our roster sucks, and that guy over there just keeps getting better. And
I'll be honest with you, I would not mind seeing KC win because I don't want Mahomes' career to pan out like Aaron Rodgers' career. Like, you see the supreme talent only get one, and fairly early in his career. Like, and then now KC is just good all the time, but then can't finish. I don't want to see that. So, and then how do you don't waste Kelsey and Tyreek Hill. Like, these guys are phenomenal at their positions.
Kelsey's
Honey Badger. I don't want to see him get wasted.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Kelsey's getting a little long in the tooth. He's not going to be around forever, So, no, I get you. You don't want to see an all-time great, somebody who has the potential, not reach that pantheon because of roster decisions, GM decisions, fucking coaching decisions, in-game decisions where you're not even on the field. You make dumb defensive calls like covering the post when they have 2 fucking timeouts left. Yeah. And Patrick Mahomes, you fucking retards.
And then, like, having a $500 million contract, as time moves on, it's going to make it harder to pay other players. So you're only going to have this band together for a short amount of time. So you got to take advantage of having them getting it done right here, right now.
So here's the good thing about what they did with that $500 million contract. When they did it, because that was like right pre-Roni, right? Mm-hmm. Then the cap went down, and now it's going to start going back up. So you got him locked up for a decade, right? And it might be an absolutely ridiculous contract right now, but in a decade, whatever he's being paid is not going to be even close to what he's worth. So it actually is going to play out in the long run for them. It's just, you're right. There's going to be a time period in the middle, a la Tom Brady, after they made their first run, and then you start running into salary cap issues because these are all Super Bowl champions now. They all want their money because if you don't pay them, somebody else is. And then there's also players that you brought in to win these things, like Corey Dillon. And then he wasn't cheap. It's Corey Dillon. He's not going to be cheap. Well, it worked, though. Yeah. So there was that lull in the middle where they're
Darrelle
Revis. You got him for one.
Yeah.
We tried to do the same thing with Randy. It just didn't work out, So, but there was that, after the third Super Bowl, there was that lull for a decade of competitiveness.
Yeah.
But not winning one.
Right.
But then they kind of went on another run. Whole different roster. Literally, Tom Brady was the only one from the original roster. The only one. Not even a lineman. Matthew Slater. Sorry, there was two.
Yeah, Slater.
Slater's been there forever. He is...
Did he get one with Aqib Talib? Did he get one?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did, right?
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, there were so many, like, these one-and-dones that it kind of screwed things up for a while, but on the back end, they got 3 more.
Hey, but also, I mean, what's the twin?
McCourty.
McCourty. Yeah, McCourty's been around for a while now.
Long time, but Slater's the only one besides Tom that's been from the old era.
From the first run.
Matthew Slater's been in the league for like fucking 18 years or something retarded.
Which is ridiculous.
He's literally the best special teams player that's ever played.
Yeah.
Just because of longevity and the magnitude of the games that he's played in. And if somebody's down in the kick, it's always him.
Yeah.
Big moments. Maybe you might not think that a punt return tackle or a tackle on the kickoff return is a big fucking deal in a big game, but you saw what Debo and Tyreek Hill just did to flip a game.
Exactly, especially when you have the magnitude of play. They put a player back there to get them a big play, and you shut it down.
Yeah, you got Matthew Slater to stop things like that. So,
if like, just in terms of making it as a special teams player, Devin Hester should most definitely make it.
he will.
But Matthew Slater should also most definitely.
He will. Because Hester, you have to. He's one of the 100 all-time greatest players.
You have to.
You cannot talk about football without talking about the greatest ever to do one component of a game.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be like saying, well, we're not going to put Adam Vinatieri in the Hall of Fame because he's only a kicker.
Right.
Are you fucking serious?
Right.
You know, and then not only that, Devin Hester on the biggest stage in front of the world proved, yeah, I'm that guy opening kickoff of the Super Bowl back. I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just got Rex Grossman at quarterback, so we're not going to win this game, but I'm out, people. I showed you what I can do.
So Rex Grossman throws 6 interceptions, and the Bears still win, largely in part because of the defense and Devin Hester.
Devin Hester. That was probably the game he had 2 in one game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did.
See?
And then he was like, they are who we thought they were.
We let him off the hook.
You want to crown him?
Crown him. Well, they did. They went to the Super Bowl, Denny.
They did. They did.
R.I.P. Denny Green. So, yeah, man. I don't know, man. They're one-game scenarios, Kerry. They could go anyway. It's so hard to pick these. It's impossible. Yeah, things should happen on paper. These rosters should match up these ways. These game plans should go this way. They could go in certain ways given the reputation of the key players. Matthew Stafford, he does throw picks. He does have pick fits where he throws a couple of them. Is that guy going to show up, or is the guy who...
Baker's, how shaken is his confidence after fumbling twice? You saw at the end of the game, he wasn't even happy. He was, like, relieved, but he was like, wow, they just saved my life.
He better go Jerome Bettis on that and just thank Big Ben for making that tackle and saving that thing and just go perform and not think about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So and he's a young player too, and he's all this adversity he's coming over after his torn Achilles. Luckily, Sony Michel they have, who's been playing well, and they get Darrell Henderson back. So, but you don't want to crush Sam Akers' confidence, moving forward in his career. They're banking on him. Yeah, versus Jimmy G. Like, we saw some Jimmy G throws. Like, damn, that was a great throw right on time. And another one's like, what were you thinking, man? What are you thinking?
So, this is the Carson Wentz conundrum from this season. He only had 7 picks on paper. Guy had like 25 picks that should have been picked, or could have been picked. This is the Jimmy G factor also. He's going to Jimmy G. It's up to the defense to make the play because he's going to give it to you.
Yep.
That's why they limit him. That's why they've won playoff games where he only had 6 passing attempts. That's why they are 3-0 in playoff games when Jimmy G does not throw a touchdown. They don't win because of him.
They win because of the run game. Remember Raheem Mostert? He was getting busy.
So they win because of that, and the ones that they lose are because of him, because those throws that a corner might drop or
he just overthrows,
or something that gets tipped and fumbled. Those get caught in other games, and those are the ones he loses. So against the Rams, not really good. There's going to be a turnover. It's the Rams. There's going to be See, the thing with Jimmy G is he's not going to, whoever Jalen Ramsey is covering, he's not going to try him.
Right.
The guy doesn't take risk.
Yeah.
And then no matter what, whoever Jimmy G is covering, unless it's Debo, you're not going to win that matchup. What, Brandon Ayuk?
They're going to move Debo all over the place. I mean, I really where I see this key is Kittle.
Well, see, that's what I'm thinking. I think that the Rams will do what they. I think they'll do what they do when they play the Bucs, and they'll have Ramsey covering Kittle instead of a wide receiver, unless the wide receiver is getting off, and then he'll switch over because.
Whoever is going to be assigned to Debo is going to have a full day.
Well, they can't put him on Kittle because Debo is Debo. Ramsey has to cover him.
Yeah.
So then you look at Eric Weddle.
He's going to have a big game.
Yeah, Eric Weddle's going to have to hope that
Eric Weddle.
him coming off the street less than a week ago is going to pay off in week 2 because now you have Kittle to deal with.
Yeah.
So the one caveat in all this is, as far as like weapons, that's all you have to deal with. They got 2. They have some serviceable players. Jefferson makes some catches every once in a while. Ayuk is a disappointment in year 2.
Right. Mitchell has been playing well, but I mean...
Well, I wasn't going to talk about their run game. Their run game is whoever's back there. They got the old Mike Shanahan with the Kyle Shanahan now of whoever's back there is getting 1,000 yards, even if it's 5 of them. I don't care.
Yeah.
They just produce. It always has. It always will. It doesn't really matter. It'd be crazy to see, a la Terrell Davis, what happens with that offense when you do get a stud back there. You know, like if Derrick Henry went there, forget about it. It's going to have 3,000 yards in a season.
Right.
Like, get out of here. So, we shall see. I just need to see the look on Matthew Stafford's face before the kickoff. I need to see the look in his eyes, if it's like, I'm here finally, or if it's just like, oh shit, finally. There's a difference. There's going to be a line that he's going to be walking on if he's like coming in to take care of business and go to where he's always supposed to have been, or if he comes in there like and has a Matt Stafford 3-pick game and you're wondering how the fuck that roster lost.
Yeah.
How the fuck did Jimmy G make it to the Super Bowl at quarterback?
You don't need Eye of the Lion here.
No, and then the other side, it's just like David versus Goliath for real. It's established franchise, superstar, Super Bowl caliber, already won, already been to another one against the startup. This is a new guy. The new guy's cool, man. He's got nice hair. He wears nice glasses. He doesn't complain. Everything is just like, yeah, nah, man, we're good. I don't care. Get used to it. We're dope. I'm dope. You're dope. What's up? Hitting on female fucking beat reporters, throwing their bras at him in press conferences and shit. Like, this guy's like a rock star now.
You also have guys at positions who feel like they're the best and really are proving it. Jamar Chase said, I wanted every record that there was. I want to break every single record they have here. He came in saying that. You can't tell Joe Mixon he's not one of the best backs in the league. You just look at the stats. Not a lot of people bring his name up, but if you look at his stats, killed it this year. What, T. Higgins doesn't think he's the best big receiver out there? Of course he does.
So what's funny is the youth, the confidence of youth.
Yeah. The kicker got swag.
They're all so young, and they're like, I remember being that young and being indestructible. I'm the greatest of all time at whatever I'm doing. What are you talking about?
Taking a practice swing like, I guess going to the AFC Championship game, huh?
Yeah, get ready, coach. They're about to Gatorade bath you soon, dude. We got this. And then nailing it.
That's what I'm saying. When you go in there with this unreasonable confidence, anything can happen because you believe in yourself that deeply.
So this is why this game is so compelling.
That's what I'm saying.
This is like the the NFL playoffs this year have kind of been like boxing.
Mm-hmm.
These are like heavyweight contenders going at it, and then you got like the established champ with multiple belts walking into the ring, and then you got this guy, and everybody wants to see this guy beat this guy, but this guy always keeps winning. And
He's just been in the best playoffs in quite some time.
He just beat another up-and-coming undefeated boxer who was on the ring, Rise Up, and Josh Allen. Now he's got another one coming.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is Floyd Mayweather all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But, you know, he did have to go up against George Foreman last year, who just...
Yeah. Just like this.
I mean, like... Literally, when Foreman beat whoever it was when he was like 40-something.
Michael Moore.
He just...
Yeah.
And it was over. And it was just like... That's all Tom Brady really did against the Rams to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
One throw. That's all it took to Gronk down the seam.
That was it.
The same thing that Kelsey just ran. Literally that same to the... And then in, seam. Done. We just beat you. So, shout out to the Rams for getting back into this, making moves.
Really quickly. I mean, also, because, you look at Aaron Donald, like, you have a generational player, like an all-time player, more than generational, an all-time player. He's gotten to one. And so, and then, I mean, and this is so funny, because it was either him or Odell, where the Giants were sitting. And we went with Odell instead of him. Now they're on the team. I was like, damn, I wish we could have got them on the team together. Now they are on the team together. Wrong team. But now there's a scenario where Odell can kind of validate his career getting this Super Bowl, obviously. But then Aaron Donald, really, you want to see an all-time great like him get him one.
Well, then Jalen Ramsey also takes a step forward in his...
Oh, yeah, Jalen Ramsey also, yeah.
And his rankings on, and Matthew Stafford takes a huge step forward out of the shadows that he had created on his own. So, I kind of want to see it happen for all of those players because you do, as a fan, you do like to see careers get certified because of that title. Because they're in some people's eyes, that title is everything.
Yeah.
So... I mean, it's especially with the quarterback with other.
Yeah, these teams, right? But like, San Francisco would be on the bottom because there's only really like Debo. I would want to see Debo get one. I like Kittles, and I like some of those guys on the defense. Warner's monster.
Yeah, but not really. I don't really be like, man, they need to get one.
I know, but like Debo, I feel for the most. But really, they're my bottom. But like KC, Cincinnati, and the Rams all have different scenarios. I like each team. Like I'd be fine with either one of them winning.
It's like when Randy Moss was, paired up with the Patriots. You wanted to see Randy Moss career certified with the title.
Yes, and I would have rooted for him if they went up against
anybody else. Yeah, I get
anybody
it.
Else.
But you know what I mean, though. It's like you want to see it. Like, oh, this guy deserves.
Yep.
So that anybody who doubts him, that's not like us, who just see the product on the field, can say, oh, yeah, he is one of the all-time greats because it's Randy fucking Moss, you retards. That's why I'm so happy they did the 100 all-time greatest. Yeah. They were able to certify some players that never... Randy was one, didn't win the title, but got stamped as you are one of the greatest ever.
Ever.
And then people like Dan Marino didn't get certified.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan. At this point in football, you are lower top 10 if you are even in the top 10 at all anymore.
And maybe you should have considered signing a few kids' autographs instead of shitting on them.
Yeah, and isotoners suck, you dickhead. All right, homie. I appreciate you. I'm sure if anything happens, we will be in touch. Shout out to everybody for coming through. Yeah, Tom, thanks. It's been ridiculous. 21 years of just something that we'll never see again.
Yeah.
Listen, I know you'll never watch this show. There is nothing left to prove. Absolutely nothing. You could only damage your career by going out there and stinking in a year, which he wouldn't. Even if you win a title, there's nothing that you can add on to your legacy. So there's no point. What, you win 3 more, it still doesn't add on to his legacy. You're so far ahead of everyone else, it doesn't fucking matter, dude.
Right.
Call it quits, Tom. You're married to a supermodel who gets paid $100 million a year to hang out in her underwear. Yeah, you don't have to work, dude. Don't be an analyst. Don't do anything. Be a mystical goat that no one at. Don't grant interviews.
Mystical goat.
Yeah. Don't do what Aaron Rodgers is doing and talk about your COVID views and whatnot and have everyone hate you and whatnot. Just
like John Stockton?
Yeah, John Stockton banned from Gonzaga and shit. Just fade off into the sunset as the GOAT. There's no need to come back.
With your Uggs.
With your whatever. The Stetson commercials and Uggs, all that shit. All that. Gronk. Look, another all-time great, 100 greatest, the greatest tight end that I've ever seen play.
If I was him, I would chill out too.
Yeah.
Go wrestle if you want.
Yeah, you came back and won another one. You were named to 100 greatest all-time player team, and then came out of retirement and won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You have nothing left to prove. You are, dude. You're fucking like. There's nothing left, Kerry. There's nothing.
I know.
Arians, there's nothing left.
6'7", like getting a pounding on his knees like that, like you just wanna.
You got back healthy again. Just run with it, dude. You can walk now. You're good.
Yeah.
Bill is still up in New England. He will keep toiling away until he gets another one. So it's been awesome, Tom. Aaron Rodgers, if you hang it up, you'll never see this, but you're the only one who can do the things that you do, dude. Nobody else can direct the nose of the football in any direction.
Most accurate quarterback I've ever seen, period.
Ever. We'll never see anything like that again because we're seeing people with outrageous arm talent and they still don't do what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Herbert and Josh Allen have absolute and total fucking cannons.
Mm-hmm.
Literally 25-yard outs to the sideline are nothing to them from the opposite hash. I'm making that throw. Retarded. Patrick Mahomes literally does things that no other human can do. And they won't be able to. It's like you think there's going to be another Steph Curry. No, there's not. All these little kids out here can shoot from 70 feet all they want. They're not going to be 50% from 45 feet.
Right.
Like, it's just, there's only one of those guys. There's only one Mahomes. There's only one Tom. No one will ever be able to do that again. That's impossible.
Yeah.
The NFL won't allow it to happen. They have to be glad this guy's done. Like, just somebody else win. We need other markets to fucking spend money.
It'll be fun. We're seeing where it's happening at now.
It's like it's almost like when LeBron's not in it. It actually makes me more interested in the NBA Finals if LeBron's not in it. Because I've seen that show like 20 times already.
Sure.
I've seen him win multiples. I've seen him lose multiples. I've seen him lose because of him, and I've actually seen him win because of him. When he put them on their back and won the second one in Miami,
oh yeah,
that was him. He did that. So I was just like, oh, that's the one I needed to see from you. So one that you almost did in Cleveland the first time when you literally put them on your back for the fourth quarter in overtime against Detroit.
Well, he definitely did it for the first one in Miami when they went up against OKC. He got bailed by Jesus Shuttlesworth on the second one, and then found a way to get it done.
But overall, like, it was less Dwayne Wade and more I'm shouldering.
Oh yeah, it was him.
It was him, and that's what impressed me. I was like, oh, you did it now because.
Which was really funny because when he went to LA, it looked like it was gonna be AD, but it really was LeBron.
Yeah. Yeah, but you see, LeBron is Mike all over again when it comes to being a GM. He's not a very good one.
I know.
His team assembling skills suck, dude.
Yeah.
Every time he assembles the team and his vision and whatnot, they suck.
Yeah.
He brought Russell Westbrook at 40 years old, basically, in there. What did you think you were going to get? He can't shoot. What did you think was going to happen?
No, it's bad. It's bad.
He literally has never been able to shoot. He's explosive. At this age, that's gone. Yeah, he could still dunk, but he's not dunking from outside the box on three people anymore. Igniting the crowd, making a steal, dunking again. Like, he's not that guy.
Certain. And so he was trying to fit too many styles in on one team. And just,
you remember when the Lakers already did this once?
Yeah, when they had
Karl Malone, Gary Payton.
Yeah, they got all the they tried to make a legendary squad.
And it did not work at all. They went to the playoffs, cool, but like, it's too many movies.
The only one that really worked, and it was because you had a lot of B players at this point, was that Miami Heat with Shaq, Dwayne Wade, But then Posey, Gary Payton, White Chocolate, Michael Doliak, Alonzo Mourning, but Antoine Walker, like guys who used to be dope, but now they've all accepted their roles.
Well, the thing that happened from day one in there that made it work is when Shaq came in, he said to everyone, "Now this is his team."
Wait, yeah.
If Shaq is saying that and you're Antoine Walker, what the fuck are you gonna say?
Exactly.
Not only does he have the career respect, he's 7'9" and 700 pounds. What are you gonna say to Shaq?
Right.
It's D Wade's team now.
Yeah.
That's D Wade's bike. What bike? You know, the beach cruiser I let you borrow last week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's right over here, homie. Then Shaq stuffing Antoine Walker. Like, if Shaq says it's D Wade's team, it's D Wade's team. Even D Wade was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Well, Shaq said it's my team. Fuck, it's my team now. Shit. So, and it worked. Shaq was right.
Yeah.
No, that guy, give him the ball.
Yeah.
So everyone else is going to fall in line. And good for everyone on that team to go get a ring. White Chocolate, Antoine, Alonzo.
I loved it for them.
All those people. Love to see Antoine Walker probably already pawned it for gambling money. He's like up there on as the amount of money he's blown is for professional athletes. He's like up in the top 10. It's something like 140 million he blew through.
That is insane, bro. It's insane.
How?
Don't even ever want to know.
Me neither. All right, homie.
Nah, bro.
We'll be in touch.
Indeed.
All right, everybody. I appreciate it. Yeah, football Sunday. Playoff football is happening. Oh, man, I hope the Bengals win. I don't know what else to tell y'all.